Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto is neglected by family and eats chakra fruit. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Lucy Hart of Fairy Tale and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Naruto was wandering around the forest having been kicked out of the orphanage. He rubbed his eyes of dry tears that were leaking from his face. Why was he treated in such a bad way? What did he ever do to deserve this? He asked Gigi why, but the man simply smiled and said things would get better. Yeah, right. He walked and walked until he was far away from the village and sat down on the ground simply looking up at the sky. How he wished he was like a star, shining so brightly and being looked upon with happiness by others. Sometimes he wished he didn't have to feel anything at all. That would ease the pain and make things better. Yeah, it'd be better if he didn't feel anything at all. Wiping his tears away, he saw a light in the distance, and wondered what it was. He walked over towards the light, feeling drawn to it for some reason. He couldn't explain why though, but something told him to keep walking towards the light. When he arrived in the clearing, he saw a giant tree that looked as though it could stretch for miles. Its roots were big and there were many leaves around it. Naruto was so entranced by the tree as he watched it glow a pretty color, he approached the tree and hesitantly touched it. As soon as he did, he could sense it was very much alive, and thought he could sense a heartbeat coming from it too. He placed his ear on it, and sure enough he did in fact hear a heartbeat from the tree and smiled for some reason, so warm he closed his eyes with a smile. There was a glowing light below him and he saw what looked to be fruits floating in the lake below him. The fruits were pink and in his opinion looked to be flowers. One of the fruits glowed as it floated towards him. Bending down, he picked up the fruit with both hands, staring at it as it was still glowing within his hands. There was a rustle from behind him as the leaves on the tree behind him spoke through a whisper in the wind. Chakura no Mi, chakra fruit. Naruto looked behind him as he heard those words. There was no doubt in his mind that the tree had just spoken to him, its voice a mere whisper in his ears. He blinked. Can I eat it? He asked. There was another rustle as the leaves moved once more, as if telling him yes. Naruto, with permission from the tree, he took a bite out of the chakra fruit, eating all of it without any hesitation in his decision. As soon as he swallowed it, his forehead started throbbing, making him hold it in severe pain, but it soon died down, much to his relief. Curious about what happened, he walked over to the lake and noticed two things. 1. His forehead had a blue eye on it similar to those of the Uchiha clan but was completely different. The eye had a blue sclera and irides, with a ripple pattern spreading over the eyeball and 9 black tomo. 2. His normal blue eyes were now different as well. His eyes were now purple with ripple patterns that spread over the eyeball. Naruto back away in complete surprise. What? Rinnegan, Sasura eye, and Rinne Sharingan, Sasura copy will eye. Naruto turned to look back the tree in awe. Rinnegan, Rinne Sharingan. He closed his eyes, trying to will his eyes to go back to normal. Opening them again, he looked down at the water again and saw his normal blue eyes. With a smile, he turned back to the tree. I'll come back tomorrow, okay? He felt a breeze hit his face and smiled. Guess that meant see you soon. The blonde walked away from the tree still smiling. He made his very first friend. Even though it was a tree, it didn't matter because it showed him kindness, and that's all he wanted. He felt different now. No longer did he feel sadness or pain. In fact, he didn't feel any emotion at the moment. He was the one that wished not to feel anything anymore, and he got what he wanted. In a way, it wasn't so bad not feeling any emotions at the moment. He was still a child and needed more time to create his own persona, as most children do when growing up. Walking through the clearing he was first at, when he arrived in the forest, he stood there and waited until the ANBU showed up, and not so long after he thought that the man appeared before him. This was ANBU Dog. He'd seen this one before. This one accompanied the Hokage to the orphanage to come see him many times. If he was here, that means the Hokage knows about him being thrown out of the orphanage, and the woman would receive her punishment for doing such a thing. Sarutobi was not happy. No, he was not happy at all. Why wasn't he happy, you asked? Very good question. The reason he wasn't happy right now is because the head matron of the orphanage kicked out Naruto in this freezing cold. So he fired her and the staff before sending them all off to Ibiki. Maybe some time with the man in charge of the IT department will do them some good. He had sent his ANBU to go and look for the boy, hoping one of them would at least find him. He was brought out of his thoughts when a whirl of leaves appeared in his office. But that wasn't all. Dog came in with young Naruto in tow, holding the boy. Naruto. Sarutobi smiled in relief as he took the boy from ANBU Dog. Are you alright? Naruto gave the man a blank look. I'm fine. The man saw the expressionless look the boy was giving him and winced internally. Well, Naruto, you'll be happy to know that I have an apartment set up for you so you don't have to worry about going back to the orphanage. That's good. The boy said, not really caring. Sarutobi was starting to get worried about the dull look the boy kept giving him and wondered what happened to make the boy this way. Naruto woke up staring at the ceiling of his new apartment complex. Getting up from the bed, he walked over to kitchen to make some breakfast. Luckily, the man went to get some groceries for the blonde, giving the people in the store warning looks not to start anything while he was there. He also noticed that the old man said nothing about the eye in the center of his forehead. That was because the blonde had hid it from him. The white cloth he had around his forehead hid the fact that he had the Rinne Sharingan. But now, there was no reason to hide it anymore. Besides, he promised to go see the tree again today, and that's exactly what he was going to do. Having finished his breakfast, he walked out of his new apartment, closing the door behind him. He decided to walk around the village for a little while before meeting up with his friend whose name he still doesn't know. Jumping down from the railing, he landed on his feet and walked away from his new apartment complex and decided to take a stroll around the village simply because he felt like it. It didn't take long for the glares to be sent his way, but he ignored them in favor of feeling the nature all around him. Quite curious actually. Now why was he feeling such a thing? It really was a curious thing indeed. He spotted a stand that had apples for sale, but the blonde didn't have the money to get any, so he decided to not try and get one and simply walked by. The man at the stand glared hatefully at him, but that soon went away when he saw what was in the middle of the boy's forehead. It looked like the Sharingan, but that was impossible. How the hell did the demon brat have the Sharingan? As Naruto walked around in complete ignorance, he failed to notice the same reaction from the rest of the villagers. All of them saw what looked to be the Sharingan on the boy's forehead and believed he stole it from the great Uchiha clan. That was when the whispering began. How dare he? That I belongs to the Uchiha clan. That little thief. The Uchiha clan needs to be informed about this. Naruto was none the wiser, ignoring them as though they didn't exist, and simply continued walking around and planned to keep doing that until he heard the voice of his friend. I am waiting for you. Where are you? Naruto looked up and smiled. I'm coming. He walked ahead on his way to see his friend. He didn't mean to wait so long. There was a chance he was quite lonely just like he was. He made a mental note to apologize to his friend as soon as he saw him. Question is, what should he get as a token of apology towards his friend? Hokage's office 9:30 a.m. Sarutobi was currently in his office doing the bane of all the Hokage's headaches. Paperwork. While yesterday was still fresh in his mind, especially with Naruto's emotionless response to the old man, he couldn't help but worry about what could have happened to the boy. He didn't get the chance to think about it much because an ANBU operative appeared beside him. Hokage-sama. ANBU Bor appeared. What is it, Bor? Sarutobi was surprised the man appeared before him, sounding so urgent as well. Sir. The civilians are demanding the execution of Naruto Uzumaki. Bor reported. What? Sarutobi yelled in outrage. It seems as though they believe the boy to have stolen the Sharingan from one of the members of the Uchiha clan. Bor reported. What nonsense! Why do they believe such a thing? Sarutobi yelled, already standing to deal with whoever got any ideas of hurting the boy. They believe they saw something similar to the Sharingan embedded in the boy's forehead. Bor reported. Sarutobi's eyes widened in remembrance to yesterday when the boy had a white cloth around his forehead. Was Naruto hiding it because he knew this would happen? Then why did he choose now to reveal it, knowing the villagers would be angry? The villagers aside, there's no telling what the Uchiha clan would do when they hear of this. Sarutobi thought. Sir, where is Naruto now? Sir. Some villagers saw him walking away towards the woods on the outskirts of the village. Some angry villagers were seen following him but didn't get far when we intervened and stopped them. Anbu Wolf went after the boy. Bor reported. Good. I will be there to deal with the villagers myself. Let's go. Sarutobi had a pissed-off look on his face that made Bor shiver. Sir. And with that the two of them disappeared in a swirl of leaves heading towards their destination, neither of them noticing another shadow was within the office. This was not a normal shadow, for it wore a black robe and a mask that said Naruto. I must report this to Danzo-sama. The man went back into the shadows, disappearing without a trace. Naruto finally arrived and saw his friend. I'm sorry to be so late. I just felt like walking around for a little while. He walked closer to his friend, who seemed to have accepted his apology. Don't worry, I'll give you something in return. What would you like? He pressed his ear closer to the tree in order to hear his voice better. He didn't know when he suddenly referring to it as a he, but didn't see it as a bad thing. I do not know what I want. Does a human always need a want? Naruto blinked at the response. I don't know. But I know I wanted a friend, and that's how I found you. I also didn't want to feel anymore. I think I got what I wanted from that too. Friend? I am your friend? Naruto smiled and, tell me, what is a friend? The blonde thought about that question really hard and found an answer that was hopefully satisfying for both of them. A friend is someone you bond with, someone you can share everything with. I see, then you and I are friends now. That means I can tell you my origin. I can tell you what I am. What you are? Yes. I do not have a name like you humans do, but I am known as the Shinju God Tree. Shinju. Naruto said the word. In the beginning, I was merely a seed that landed here on Earth from a meteorite several millennia ago. I grew by absorbing the blood soaked into the land ground from countless battles that happened before you even born. Naruto nodded and listened, not daring to interrupt. The humans believed I was a blessing that would help nourish the land, when it was the complete opposite to what they believed. In truth, I was slowly killing the land and its people by draining the natural energy around them. Naruto looked sad in hearing that. I will not kill you, my friend, nor will I kill the people that thrive here in the village. The blonde smiled hearing his friend say that, and wanted to hear more of its origins. In the past, humans saw me as a sacred pillar to be worshipped, believing me to be extended to the heavens, and remained undecided about all conflict. Some believed that if I were to be approached by a human, they would be consumed by a demon spirit, and would die like a withered branch. Naruto giggled. I'm not a withered branch, so they were wrong. Indeed. Every 1,000 years I produce fruit which is known as chakra fruit, which are never to be touched by humans. However, since you are my friend, I did not mind in you eating one. Naruto smiled in appreciation. Thank you. You are welcome. There was a clan that would travel through dimensions in search of me, and they were the Otsutsuki clan. They would travel in search of me for the sole purpose of consuming my fruits and gain chakra for themselves. One Otsutsuki I remember is Kagaya Otsutsuki. After she ate one of my fruits, she stayed here on Earth so that she may rule over the human population. She wanted to rule us over? Naruto's eyes widened. Yes. She wanted to keep the peace, so she enslaved part of the human population using Mugen Tsukuyumi, infinite Tsukuyumi. Mugen Tsukuyumi, infinite Tsukuyumi. Naruto repeated. It is a genjutsu powerful enough to trap the entire world into an illusion, enslaving them into a dream so that their chakra may be drawn upon. Kagaya bounded those affected to me, assimilating them with my life force, and gradually turned them into something called White Setsu. When her two sons, Hagoromo Otsutsuki and Hamura Otsutsuki, were born with chakra of their own, she merged me in order to take the chakra back, thus becoming a monster known as the Jubi. The battle between her and her sons ended as Hagoromo and Hamura sealing the beast's chakra in Hagoromo's body while using its husk as the core Rikudo, Chibaku Tensei, 6 paths, Chibaku Tensei, creating a celestial body that would become known as the moon. Naruto's eyes widened as he looked up. You mean she's up there? Sealed away? She is. After her two sons sealed her away, Hamura became head of the Otsutsuki clan and departed to the moon to guard over the beast's remains, while Hagoromo remained on Earth in order to spread chakra to humanity and teach them the concept of ninshu. Ninshu, that's what ninjutsu's really called? Naruto questioned. Yes. Hagoromo Otsutsuki is also known as the Rikudo Sennin, sage of 6 paths. As he sealed the Jubi within himself, he became the first Jinchuriki, as humans call them. Jinchuriki? Naruto questioned. It means power of human sacrifice. While I find the word to be completely distasteful, that is what they are called. Hagoromo also sought out peace, which is why he was named the Rikudo Sennin. He was also the one that created the Biju by using the creation of all things, dividing the Jubi's chakra into 9 living entities. He gave each of them their own names. After his death they all drifted apart. He created them to make sure the Jubi would never be resurrected back into this world, but also to maintain and balance peace. So where are they now? Naruto asked. One of them is inside of you, my friend. The Kyuubi is inside of you and is listening right now. Naruto froze in place, then regained his senses. You mean this whole time the Yondaime Hokage didn't kill it like we were led to believe? That's correct. He is sealed inside of you by the Yondaime Hokage, and he wants to see you now. I believe he wants to speak to you. Naruto nodded. Closing his eyes, he imagined trying to meet the Kyuubi. Hearing the sound of water, he opened his eyes and looked around, trying to find the Kyuubi. Where are you? Naruto called out. I'll tell you where to go, just follow my voice. Naruto didn't question and did what he was told, and started walking ahead of him, while at the same time looking around. This is what the inside of my mind looks like. It feels so lonely. Is the Kyuubi lonely? Naruto wondered. It felt like forever until he finally arrived to his destination. Before him was a giant orange fox with blood-red eyes behind a cage that had what looked like to be a piece of paper in the center of it. The Kyuubi was just lying down staring at him, and Naruto was doing the same thing as he approached the fox in complete, or rather than fear. Wow, he then frowned when he remembered what his friend said. He's not supposed to be locked up like this. Like some kind of animal. This is wrong. His mind made up, he reached up to try and pull the seal off in order to free the Kyuubi, but was surprised the Biju stopped him by grabbing the boy with one of his tails. Naruto gave the Kyuubi a confused look. Kyuubi-san? Don't get too ahead of yourself, brat. While I would like nothing more than to be free, it comes with a price, and that's your death. Eh? I'll die. Naruto was put back down on the ground as he stared up at the fox. That's right, if you were to release me right now you will die. So for now, don't try to mess with the seal. But why? It's not fair. My friend told me you and the rest of the Biju are supposed to bring peace, so why are you sealed inside me? Naruto was genuinely sad for the fox. Kyuubi sighed. Have a seat. This is gonna be a long story, and I want no interruptions. Naruto sat down cross-legged style, intent on listening to every word with no intention of interrupting. You heard pretty much half the story from the god tree. I'm honestly surprised the damn tree is even still alive and hasn't withered away after all this time. Anyway, the old man created us so the Jubi wouldn't be resurrected, and like the tree said, the old man wanted us to bring balance and peace. But that damn Hashirama Senju captured us all and handed us out like we were trophies, giving us no say in what we wanted. We were stripped of our free will. Kyuubi growled. He then heard a sniffle making him look down at his holder, and saw he was crying. Why are you crying? Naruto wiped some of his tears away. Because it's sad you were all friends and you were forced to be separated from each other. That's why I'm crying. I'm sorry. The boy sniffled, trying to stop his tears from falling. He felt something furry rub against his face, making look up at the fox, who still looked surprised but didn't show it to the boy. Stop crying. You did nothing wrong. The fault lies with the idiot Hashirama Senju for imprisoning all of us to begin with. Therefore you have no reason to apologize because you've done us no wrong. Understand? Kyuubi lectured. Naruto nodded as he wiped the rest of his tears away. Thank you, Kyuubi-san. Kyuubi smirked. Being sealed inside you might not be so bad after all. Do you have something to ask? Naruto smiled. Hagoromo Otsutsuki, what was he like? Was he nice? Humph, the old man was as kind as they come. He loved his sons and us equally and referred to all of us as his children and said we were all siblings. The old man was something else. Kyubi reminisced. Naruto smiled as the Kyubi had happy memories of his father. Maybe he couldn't free him now, but that wouldn't stop him from trying to do it again. He just had to wait until it was the right time. With his mind made up, he stood up with a small smile. Kyubi-san, just you wait. I can't free you now, but I will soon. It's a promise. He held out his pinky finger, waiting for the fox to do the same. Kurama smirked at the boy and held out his own pinky finger. You better not get yourself killed before that time comes, so you better train. Got it? Naruto nodded. Promise. Kurama brought his arm back. Get going. I sense an Uchiha is approaching your location. Naruto's face became impassive. Okay. The boy disappeared from his mindscape and woke up back in the real world. He was still sitting on his friend's root. Kyubi said a person from the Uchiha clan is coming here. I see, so that's who I sense coming here. But he cannot enter here even if he tries. I created a powerful illusion that prevents even one from the Uchiha to break. I see. By the way, I think I've found a good name for you. Naruto said. Name? Yep. Naming Shinju sounds a little strange, so I decided to give you one. Naruto smiled. What name did you decide to give me? Hizuki. Hizuki? Yeah, that's your new name. Do you like it? Naruto said. You're the first human to ever give me, a god tree, a name. I will treasure it. Naruto hopped off the root. I don't really want to meet an Uchiha right now. I'll see you tomorrow. Before you go, head towards an abandoned house that's on the other side of the village. There's something there you'll want to know, but I suggest you keep it to yourself. Everything there belongs to you, and only you. Naruto was confused but otherwise still nodded and walked away with the promise of coming back tomorrow and not making his new friend wait like he did today. The little blonde boy headed to the other side of the village, unaware of the chaos that's happening just outside the forest, but that didn't matter to him right now. He needed to head to the house his friend told him about. Looking around, he did indeed see an abandoned house and wondered how long it was here for. He walked right through the gates, not noticing there were seals placed around the residence, set to activate under certain conditions. The little blonde looked around the place in curiosity. Walking up to the door, placing his hand on the knob, a seal became visible and it activated, allowing him inside. Closing the door behind him, he noticed the place had collected some dust, but that wasn't important right now. Looking around the residence, he decided to walk upstairs in utter curiosity, wondering why he felt as though he belonged here. There was a door before him, and he didn't hesitate to open it, and walk inside the room. He saw there was a crib that had some dust on it, and wondered just whose house this was. As his eyes scanned the entire room, they stopped at a picture frame, prompting him to walk towards it. He picked up the picture frame, eyeing the man with blonde hair and blue eyes similar to his own, and the woman next to him with long red hair and dark blue eyes. The blonde also noticed the woman's stomach was big and tried to remember what the woman at the orphanage said about babies and where they come from. According to her, babies come from their mother's tummies, meaning they're pregnant, so that means the woman in this picture is pregnant. But with who? And this man, he looks just like him. Naruto slowly put the picture down and saw a letter fall out from behind the picture frame. Picking it up, he opened the letter and read it. I can't wait for our very first child to be born. We've already picked out a name for him and just knew in our hearts that it's the perfect name for him. The name we've given our child is Naruto. It means whirlpool. And I have to say the name fits, seeing as how Kushina is from the Uzumaki clan that once resided in Yuzushiogakure. I hope we can give our son a happy childhood and all the love and care he deserves. I can't wait to see you. Naruto. Minato Namikaze. Naruto simply stared at the letter, not really feeling any sort of emotion, not happiness, joy, sadness, or anger. He calmly set the letter down on the desk and looked around the room once more. His room. Which means this crib belonged to him and that they were happy for him to be born, and he also had a clan, the Uzumaki clan. Interesting. He picked up the picture frame and left his bedroom, closing the door behind him, deciding to explore the house some more. Having seen what he wanted, he headed downstairs towards what appeared to be a basement, and saw some strange-looking kunai that was next to a scroll, so he picked up the scroll and read it. Contents. Hiraishin kunai, Flying Thunder God kunai. Naruto, when you become older I want to teach you the Hiraishin, so I am leaving some notes here for you in case you want to learn how to use the technique earlier than planned. These kunai are custom-made that I created to utilize my space-time ninjutsu Hiraishin. The handle serves as a marker for my teleportation ability. They are also heavier than the average kunai. The prolongs also make them more deadly in a melee battle. It might prove to be difficult to the average shinobi, but there's no doubt in my mind that we'll be able to understand and use it. Here are the 4 techniques I wish to teach you step by step. Hiraishin no Jutsu, Flying Thunder God Jutsu, allows you to teleport yourself to a previous marked location. To activate this technique, you need to place a special seal or technique formula to mark an intended destination. After this is done, you can enter a dimensional void that will instantaneously transports them to a location of the seal. The mark can apply to any area through brief physical contact, including if you come across an opponent or other surrounding feature. You can also teleport objects or people, but depending on the size it will require you to use up a lot of chakra. Also, the marking formula never disappears from a marked target. 2. Hiration, Dorai, Flying Thunder God, Teleportation Barrier. This is a barrier technique that uses the Hiration formula to create a barrier space capable of warping away anything which comes into contact with. Hand signs, Snake Horse Rat Ram technique specific hand seal. 3. Hiration, and I know Dan, Flying Thunder God technique level 2. This is a technique I recently developed which I hope you'll utilize in the near future. To use this technique, you must first throw a Flying Thunder God kunai at your opponent once it's reached a close proximity of the target, or past them. You will then teleport to said kunai, immediately attacking the target from their blind spot. 4. Rasen Senko Chorin Buko Sanshiki, Spiraling Flash Super Round Dance Hall Style 3. This is another technique I've recently developed that might be a little tricky for you to use, but I know you can do it. This technique involves the use of 6 Hiration kunai, by throwing all 6 behind the enemy, teleporting to them. How you use it is up to you. Naruto couldn't help but think of the absurdity of the last name of the technique involving the Hiration. Rasen Senko Chorin Buko Sanshiki? What a weird thing to name it. The blonde kept reading the scroll and his eyes landed on another technique. Rasengan, Spiraling Sphere. This is a technique of my own creation that involves chakra forming a spinning ball of chakra into the palm of your hands. I've spent 3 years creating this. This one does not require the use of hand signs, you just use your own chakra to perform this technique. Naruto had to admit his interest was now piqued in these techniques, and Kyuubi did tell him to get stronger. He grabbed both the kunai and scroll, then saw another scroll with the words Uzumaki Clan Fuinjutsu techniques written on it, and took that with him as well and left the house without ever looking back. Naruto's apartment 11:02 a.m. Naruto looked at the stuff he gathered and decided it would be safe to hide them for now. There's no telling who would try to steal these from him. He hid them inside a bag he had stuffed his previous clothes in and put it back in place. He contemplated on what to do next when he had his stomach rumbling, then realized he hadn't had lunch yet and decided to head out to eat. Question is, where to? Thinking about it, he remembered a ramen stand that smelled really good, so he opted to go there and eat. He believed he had enough money for it. Grabbing his wallet, he noticed that he did indeed have money and hoped it was enough for some ramen. With that thought in mind, he left his house once more and headed to the ramen stand. Walking around, he was letting his senses guide him to where the place was. 5 minutes later, he arrived at his destination and walked through and was greeted by a man. Welcome to Ichirako. Them smiled at the boy and noticed the third eye on his forehead and panicked. Are you alright? Do you want me to take you to the hospital? Naruto blinked at the man in utter surprise, then showed a small smile. I'm fine, mister. Oh, my name's Tuchi. Tuchi greeted. Tuchi-san, I'm okay, it doesn't hurt at all actually. Naruto smiled at the man as he sat down. Can I eat here? Of course you can. You can come here as much as you'd like. In fact, your first meal's on the house. Tuchi smiled. Naruto was taken back once more. Thank you. Here I come. Came out from the back and smiled at the boy. What would you like to order? Naruto looked at the menu. Miso pork, please. Nodded. Miso pork it is then. And with that she went behind the back again, while Tuchi got to work on making the boy his meal. He was still worried about the eye on his forehead, but if he said he was okay, then he would believe it. Naruto looked around the place impressed by the way it looks and was eager to try some of their food. He didn't have to wait very long because the man placed the bowl before him quickly. He snapped his chopsticks apart and began to try a sample of the ramen noodles, only to stiff in place, making the man worry again. Are you alright? The blonde's eyes sparkled as he stared at the food before him. This is really good. Tuchi grinned with pride. Glad you like it. Eat as much as you like. Thank you. Oh, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, by the way. Naruto forgot to introduce himself. Nice to meet you, Naruto. Smiled as she appeared again from behind the back, then noticed the noise outside. They're so noisy. Yeah, I wonder what's going on out there. Tuchi agreed with his daughter. Naruto didn't care about what was going on outside and instead focused on finishing his meal, and that's exactly what he did. So good. Sarutobi had successfully calmed the civilians down with the help of ANB Wolf, who told them that they were overreacting and that they shouldn't make such false accusations, because it makes them look foolish. Some seemed to take his words to heart, while others wanted to kill Naruto, still believing him to be the Kyuubi incarnate. The old man looked over at ANBU Wolf, who told the old man that no matter how hard he looked, making the old man worry, until another ANBU operative informed him that Naruto was spotted at Ichiraku, much to the old man's relief. He didn't waste any time heading over there, and saw the boy had devoured 14 bowls before he thanked Tuchi and got up from his seat. When he turned around, Sarutobi did indeed see what looked to be the Sharingan embedded in the boy's forehead, but still different somehow. But he would need Fugaku to come see the boy to confirm it. Wait, that's a bad idea. Better let Itachi come see Naruto for himself. Naruto stared at the old man. Is something wrong, Hokage-sama? Sarutobi couldn't help but feel a little lonely at not hearing the boy call him Gigi like he did when he still lived at the orphanage. He wasn't changing right away, but the differences were visible, if only a little bit. Nothing, my boy. Where are you headed off to? Sarutobi smiled. Naruto turned away from him. I'm going home. I don't feel like walking around right now. I see. Do you want me to accompany you? The old man asked. Naruto shook his head. No, I can get there by myself now. The blonde walked away from the old man. Sarutobi looked at his two Anbu. Follow him. Make sure he gets home safely. If there are any civilians trying to harm him in any way, take them down. The two ENBU men nodded their heads and jumped away to follow after the blonde boy. Sarutobi was suddenly getting a strange feeling. A feeling that something else was coming, something that will ultimately change the world as they know it. Root base underground. Danzo was currently staring into nothingness, but that wasn't true at all. You see, he was waiting for his operatives to report to him about the QB Jinchuriki. He had successfully convinced the head matron of the orphanage to throw the boy out where he would capture and take control over him so he could be the perfect weapon to use at his disposal. But of course Hiruzen got to him first, firing the woman and the staff while at the same time getting the boy set up in an apartment. You're always interfering, Hiruzen. He sensed one of his root operatives land behind him. Report. Sir. It would appear Naruto Uzumaki has acquired something similar to the Sharingan embedded in his forehead. The operative reported. Danzo turned around in interest. Did anyone get a good look at it? No, sir. He was interested now. A Sharingan embedded in the forehead. That was something he could use to get the position of Hokage while at the same time getting to control the boy just like he wanted. Observe the Jinchuriki for now. We will wait to strike and take him as the ultimate weapon for the village. Danzo told him. Yes, Danzo-sama. The operative bowed once more before leaving the man alone to his thoughts. I will soon have you within my grasp, QB Jinchuriki. And this time, no one will interfere. Naruto looked out the window of his apartment, unaware his Rinne Sharingan was glowing blue a little bit, as if warning him that danger would soon be approaching. Naruto yawned as he woke up from having a strange dream. It was really strange. He felt like he was in someone else's body and even spoke differently from them too. He was staring into someone else's face, but he couldn't see him very well. But somewhere deep down he knew the person he was speaking to was someone precious to him. Shaking his head, he got out of bed to make breakfast and head back out to see his friend again today. He was also thinking about doing some training while he was at it, but since he didn't know where to start, he decided to ask his friend Hizuki for help. Having finished his food, he grabbed his sack that held his father's kunai scroll and the Uzumaki sealing technique scroll and left his apartment complex. Naruto, walking around the village is dangerous right now. I'll give you directions to get to me another way. Dangerous? It would appear you walking around with your Rinne Sharingan present for all to see has caused quite an uproar from the rest of the humans living in your village. I wouldn't be surprised if the Uchiha clan got wind of it and are attempting to approach you about it. For now, it's best you avoid them and focus on your training. I see. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. I didn't even notice. It's fine if you didn't. Instead of going into the village to get to me, I'll take you to a different route. Jump up to the roof of your apartment building. Naruto didn't question him and did just that. What next? You should be able to see the forest from where you are. Naruto narrowed his eyes and he did indeed see the forest. Oh, I see it. Jump through the rooftops, but be careful. The blonde nodded and began carefully jumping through rooftops, making sure not fall and not worry Hizuki. Naruto was close enough to the forest and landed near it before walking in and heading straight to where his friend was. Arriving at his destination, he smiled. I'm here. So I see. You seem to have brought something with you this time. Yeah, I know who my parents are now. Their names are Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. The Yandame's my dad. Naruto told him calmly. You do not seem very pleased about knowing the identities of your birth parents. Naruto brought out the last of the stuff he gathered last night and looked at his friend. I thought I would too, but I don't feel anything. I think it has something to do with me. What do you mean? Naruto grabbed his chest. When the mean lady kicked me out of the orphanage, my chest hurt a lot. I didn't want to feel anything anymore because it hurt too much. I want to feel happy because I finally know who my parents are, but I want to feel angry at my dad for sealing Kyubi-san inside of me. I see. I can't comprehend such an emotion, for I am not even human, but I feel as though I want to comfort you. Naruto smiled. Thanks. Maybe I do feel something because I brought the picture back from the house, so that means I'm happy, right? Possibly. Maybe soon you will regain the emotions you wished you no longer had. Perhaps someone within the village loves you deeply enough to help you with such a thing. You really think so? You really think there's someone in the village that really loves me? Naruto questioned. It's only a hypothesis, but a hopeful one. Naruto felt something in his chest and gripped his shirt. I felt something. What is it? I do not know what it is you're feeling, but it may possibly be the emotion known as hope. Hope, Naruto muttered. What is it that you need help with? Naruto gave his friend a serious look. Can you help me with my chakra? I can. Testing your chakra control is the first step. I will see if your chakra control is perfect, or it needs work. Naruto nodded. Okay. Hokage's office 9:45 a.m. Sarutobi just got finished dealing with the complaints from the villagers regarding Naruto. It seems what happened yesterday refuses to go away. Some of them were still asking for his execution because they believed he stole something that belonged to the Uchiha clan. Speaking of the clan, Fugaka came in and demanded to see if the boy had indeed stolen one of their Sharingan. He knew deep down Fugaka didn't believe it, but of course the Uchiha elders were breathing down his neck to demand Naruto be brought to them and confirm if he did indeed steal their clan's Kekai Genkai. The old man sighed. He saw what looked to be the Sharingan embedded in his forehead yesterday, but it was impossible because he'd actually seen the Sharingan from Itachi, and last time he checked those red eyes only had 3 tomo and not 9, so maybe it was an advanced Sharingan. Not only that, but Naruto's Sharingan was blue and not red. He also wondered if Naruto himself was possible a distant relative of the Uchiha clan, but shook his head of that thought. Neither Kushina nor Minato had distant Uchiha blood in them, so it wasn't possible. If that was the case, then how? A knock on his door interrupted him from his thoughts. Enter. The door opened and in came Danzo Shimura, his longtime friend and rival. But over the years he'd come to slowly lose his trust in the man, and with good reason. He had to be on guard every time he saw the man, whether it'd be in his office or during council meetings. What is it, Danzo? Danzo approached the desk. I was curious of the rumors going around the village that our Jinchuriki has somehow acquired the Sharingan. I hear the villagers are asking for his execution for such a heinous crime. Sarutobi eyed the man with suspicion. I've already taken care of them, and no, Naruto did not steal the Uchiha clan's Sharingan. The villagers were just overreacting. I see, you know my offer still stands. Danzo reminded. As I told you the first time you proposed such a thing, I will say it to you again. Naruto will not be joining your root program, which I'm pretty sure I told you to get rid of the first time, and he never will. I want that boy to have a normal life, Sarutobi stated. You and I both know the boy cannot have a normal life with a demon sealed within him, and the civilians won't allow him to have a normal life either because they see him as evil personified. Don't you see, Hiruzen? He can only benefit from. Danzo was cut off. My answer will not change. Besides, Naruto will be enrolled in the academy when he turns 6. Do you understand, Danzo? Hiruzen glared as if daring him to say something back. Danzo stared at him for a few minutes before resigning. I understand. The man turned his back and left the office, but Hiruzen knew Danzo all too well. There's no way he'd give up that easily, and that was a bad thing. He'd have to watch the man carefully. Danzo, on the other hand, knew Hiruzen would refuse to give the boy to him, and decided to take him by force. There was no way he'd let the boy slip through his fingers. He would not let that kind of potential go to waste. The time for mercy is over. Report. He said to the root agent that landed next to him. Sir, we've lost sighting of the Kyuubi Jinchuriki when he went into the forest. The operative reported. Was there a sign of a genjutsu present? Danzo questioned. There was, but it was too powerful for us. We tried to dispel it, but we were not able to. The operative reported. Leave me. Understood. Danzo was deep thought. A genjutsu powerful enough that it cannot be dispelled so easily. Someone has infiltrated the village and is somehow training the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. This person must be eliminated immediately. Naruto was sitting down on the ground lotus-style, concentrating on the leaf that was on his forehead. His third eye was closed. It amazed him that his third eye would open and close on its own. The leaf on his forehead was glowing blue, and it was steady too. You can stop now. It would appear you now have perfect chakra control compared to before. What do you mean? Naruto took the leaf off his forehead. Before I could sense your chakra control was less than perfect because you have so much of it. In terms of how much, I'd say Hokage level. I believe it has something to do with you being a member of the Uzumaki clan. They were born with large chakra reserves as well as longevity. Longevity? Naruto blinked in confusion. Longer lifespans than the average humans. The reason for this is because they were direct descendants of the Otsutsuki clan through Ajura Otsutsuki, the youngest son of Hagoromo Otsutsuki. They were all born with red hair, but you do not have that physical trait as you've inherited your looks from your father. The villagers don't see that. They give me those mean glares and whisper things behind my back every time, but unlike before, I don't feel sad like I usually would. Naruto said. They are of no importance. Right now you need to focus on your training. It's best to ignore them. Okay. Hey, I forgot to ask you before. But how old are you really? Naruto asked. How old? Naruto nodded. Yeah? You were there to see the mean lady get sealed away forever, right? I will assume you mean Kaguya as the mean lady. And to answer your other question, I am not the original Shinju. I am merely a new seed that was planted when Hashirama Senju founded this village along with Madara Uchiha. During the time when they were merely children, I began to grow in the same way as my predecessor, the original Shinju, grew. I was curious to know more about humans, but they could never hear my voice, so I stopped trying to communicate with them. You are the very first human to actually hear me. That proves you are very special. Naruto looked up at the sky. I'm not special at all. I'm just me, Naruto Uzumaki. Yes, you are. Naruto smiled. So, what's next for me to learn? Since you are of the Uzumaki clan, it would be best if you learn their Fuinjutsu, for it is within your birthright. Naruto nodded and opened the scroll he found in his parents' house, and opened it up, reading the first page. Shisho Fuin, for symbol seal, a powerful sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan of Yuzushiogakure. The sealing formula is used to seal any target into a human body or an object, and is mainly used when a giant enemy or evil spirit needs to be sealed away. I wonder if that's the same seal that was used on me. Naruto thought as he kept on reading. Hak no Fuin Shiki, 8 trigram sealing style. To use this technique, the user must first summon a ceremonial throne and place the target on it. Shiki Fujin, dead demon consuming seal. Performing he hand signs correctly, the user's soul is partly separate from their body and suspended behind them. The soul of the Shinigami will appear behind the summoner, as the Shinigami restrains their soul with its hair. The Shinigami wraps its left arm with prayer beads and chants until a cursed seal appears on its arm. It then drives its arm into the summoner's soul, allowing the summoner to call upon the Shinigami to seal a target. Once the target's soul has been grasped, the summoner can remove the target's soul and seal it into their own body. When this is done, a mark appears which is the Hack no Fuin Shiki, 8 trigram sealing style. The summoner has a few moments to say their piece, allowing them to finish any lingering business they may have in the world of the living before the Shinigami their soul and the soul of the target, ending their lives. The souls are then trapped inside the Shinigami's stomach for all eternity. Hand signs: snake, boar, ram, rabbit, dog, rat, bird, horse, snake, clap hands. Naruto found the sealing technique to be not so good. This one's really dangerous. Did my clan really create this? He shook his head as he read on. Uzumaki Fuinjutsu, Uzumaki sealing technique. This sealing technique requires the necessary hand signs. Then the user places their hand on the ground as a formula appears below the target. Anything above the inscription is sealed within the formula. Hand signs: rat, ox, dog, dog, clap hands, boar, slam hand on the ground. Naruto blinked. My clan sealing techniques are really strong, aren't they? I've only seen the Shiki Fujin, dead demon consuming seal, be used. I know not of the others, I'm afraid. I want to learn my clan sealing techniques first, then learn the Hiraishin. Naruto said. You might want to learn how to use the Rinnegan as well. Hopefully there should be something in one of the scrolls to teach you, or you could ask the Kyuubi. Naruto nodded his head. I wish you were here with me. I do not understand what you mean by that. I am here with you right now. No, Naruto shook his head. I mean, it's too bad you can't grab my hand, or eat, or stare up at the sky to watch the pretty stars at night. The Shinju seemed to think about this very carefully. Technically he didn't require nourishment anymore. It didn't have to see the stars when it could feel them. But the thought of holding his friend's hand did interest it for some time now, and wondered what it would feel like. I understand. I believe I may have the solution to that. Before Naruto could even ask what he meant by that, the whole tree started glowing yellow, making the blonde look on in fascination. The glowing light lasted for a few more minutes, then stopped to surround one spot on the tree, and that was the middle. There was a glowing yellow ball that separated from the tree and hovered before him for a few minutes. Naruto could have sworn he saw what looked to be a body inside the thing. It slowly landed on the ground and the ball of light disappeared, and in its place was a boy with pale skin with a delicate facial feature, extremely long gray hair that was tied in a high ponytail, with 2 long strands that went past his shoulders. His eyes were the same as those of the Hyuga clan. He was wearing a white and yellow kimono shirt with long sleeves that didn't cover his hands, long white pants with yellow stripes on the side of them, and was barefooted. Naruto stared at his friend before a small smile appeared. You're here. The Shinju observed its human form very carefully to see if it made any mistakes in its transformation. It appears I made no mistakes during the creation of my human form. He felt himself being hugged by Naruto and was surprised by the contact. Naruto? Naruto pulled back with a smile. Sorry, I just felt the need to hug you, Hizuki. Hizuki blinked, then remembered the name Naruto gave him. That's right. My name is Hizuki now. I forgot that. It's fine. Let's train together, Hizuki. Naruto said. Hizuki nodded in agreement. Yes. Naruto looked back down at the scroll right along with Hizuki. Hey, you're a boy, right? Hizuki nodded. I have the physical traits of a male, Naruto. You do not need to worry about that. Good. Naruto looked back down at the scroll in concentration. I'll try the Uzumaki Fuinjutsu, Uzumaki's sealing technique. What do you think? It's the best decision in my opinion. Also, you might need paper to practice the sealing formulas. Hizuki suggested. Oh, I forgot to bring some. Naruto said. Don't worry. Hizuki stood up and walked over to the tree. I will handle that. Touching the tree, he created stacks of paper that his friend would need. Naruto took one and stared at the sealing formulas of the Uzumaki clan sealing technique, and started writing some of them down. It was strange how easy this came to him. Just looking at it, the formula itself looked extremely difficult, and would give anyone a headache who were trying to figure it out. Naruto was a determined little child who had no intention of giving up just because he couldn't understand something. He'd keep on trying until he eventually figured it out and smile with pride when he finally did. When it came to the Uzumaki clan sealing techniques like this, it didn't seem to bother him all that much, and he was able to understand what was written down for the sealing techniques for his clan. It looks really confusing at first, but if I reread it and write it down like this, it seems easy to understand now. Naruto observed. Hizuki nodded in agreement. In my opinion, I believe the reason you know this so well is because you and Uzumaki. Maybe. Naruto kept on writing a few more formulas before he stopped and looked at his friend. What should I work on next? Combat training will do you some good as well. I will help you with your hand-to-hand combat training. Hizuki suggested. Really? Thanks. Naruto said eagerly. Hizuki nodded. You're welcome. Let's begin, shall we? He stood back up. Naruto followed right after him and stood facing his friend. I'm ready. Hizuki nodded his head in understanding. You still can't get through to where the Jinchuriki is? Danzo eyed his operatives. No, Danzo-sama. We are trying, but for some reason no matter what we try we can't get through. One of the operatives told him. Danzo's eyes narrowed at the forest he was staring at. It didn't take long for him to get here because he had his operatives watch the boy closely. Since they couldn't get in the forest to capture him like he had planned, he decided to come here himself and see if this genjutsu was as powerful as it seemed. Looks like it is. The Jinchuriki is in there along with whoever has snuck inside the village to train the boy in secret. This person must be eliminated now. Hizuki decided to show Naruto its own version of a fighting style that consisted of hitting with your palms and blocking by redirecting their attacks and not getting hit by them effectively. It was similar to the Hyuga clan's Juken style but different. Their style attacks the tenketsu and organs, while the style Hizuki was showing him was different. He had watched and observed the fighting style of both Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha for years before their deaths and managed to come up with a fighting style that's perfect for his friend. This one would allow him to not only harm the person's organs but also shatter their bones as a result. He sensed someone was trying to break through the genjutsu he placed around the forest where he hid himself for years from the eyes of those who could easily sense him. I've felt this evil presence before. It must be that man, the one they called Danzo Shimura. If he is here, then that means he is after Naruto. I remember him having similar intentions towards someone else before Naruto was born. I wonder if that person was his mother. What's wrong? Naruto asked. Hizuki didn't answer. Instead, he activated his Byakugan near the area where he could sense Danzo and his minions that were trying to get to his friend for his evil purposes. Narrowing his eyes, he whispered a familiar attack that originated from him, Tomagoroshi no Haikatsu, all-killing ash bones. Danzo and his troops were trying once again to break the genjutsu around the forest and attempt to capture the Jinchuriki, but that would soon stop when all of Danzo's troops were stabbed by what looked to be bones. Danzo's eyes widened. What? He watched as his troops turned to ash as soon as the bones stabbed them. What is this? Hizuki deactivated his Byakugan. Maybe this will hold him off for a while. Hizuki? Naruto called out to his friend. Hizuki shook his head. It's nothing. I sensed something vile and took care of it, that's all. Shall we continue? Yeah. For about 2 hours Hizuki helped Naruto with his new taijutsu style, and so far Naruto was taking to it quite well. The only thing Hizuki had to work with him on was his stance for certain moves, but so far his friend was doing really well, so that was good. Next they worked on some ninshu. Naruto decided to call it ninshu now out of respect for the Rikudo Sannin. Hizuki respected this and told Naruto that the man would probably appreciate the fact that he was showing respect to his teachings by saying its original name. When that was done, they went to practicing the Hiraishin. Well, Naruto did anyway. Hizuki simply watched as his friend tried to master the first level of Hiraishin. He had some difficulty at first, but after a while he was finally starting to get it, which was a huge accomplishment for him in a way. Naruto fell to the ground on his back, exhausted and sweating a little. I'm tired. Hizuki sat down next to him. You did very well. Your taijutsu aside, you seem to be doing very well with the Hiraishin so far. I'm sure your father would be impressed. Naruto showed no expression at the mention of his father. Don't get him wrong, it's not like he hated the man. Well, mostly because he didn't understand what hate meant anymore. But he had no interest in a man that wasn't even in this world anymore. He had nothing to prove to him, or anyone else for that matter either. He was only interested in staying by his friend's side. Finding out you're the son of the Yondaime Hokage would make any child happy and have stars in their eyes. But Naruto just calmly accepted it but didn't hold any love for them since he hadn't experienced the feeling himself. With a sigh he sat up. Let's go eat. Where? Naruto smiled at him. I discovered a place with really good food. It's called Ichiraku Ramen. Their ramen is the best. Hizuki was curious about this Ichiraku Ramen place. I see. If you say it is good, then I'm willing to try it for myself. Naruto stood up slowly and rubbed his stomach. I'm a little hungry now though. Hizuki stood up and picked an apple from a nearby tree and gave it to Naruto, who took it gratefully. Thanks. He took a bite out of the apple. So good. You shouldn't talk with your mouth full. Hizuki reprimanded him gently. Naruto swallowed what he was eating. Sorry. It's fine. I know a way to get there without us being bothered by the villagers or those of the Uchiha clan. Hizuki walked off with Naruto following right behind him. I've been meaning to ask you, but do you not like the Uchiha clan? Naruto questioned. It is not as though I dislike them, but I find them to be filled with nothing but hatred and greed. This generation of Sharingan users will be no different than when Madara was still alive. Hizuki stated. Naruto didn't quite understand what he meant by the Uchiha clan being filled with nothing but hatred and greed. Hatred, he wondered if the glares the villagers give him falls into the category no, that he had the capacity to care anymore because he didn't. Taking another bite out of hit apple, he let his mind wander as his body instinctively followed his friend, probably to a different route in order to get to Ichiraku Ramen more quickly when they arrived back in the village. Hizuki meanwhile was constantly checking to see if Danzo Shimura was still in the area after his display of power earlier. Truthfully, he did that in order to get the man away from Naruto, and from what he senses it worked. His eyes and ears are the forest itself, and so far he hadn't sensed the man anywhere. Looks like he gave up for now, but he will try again, and this time we won't be in the forest to hold him back. Then I have no choice. Hizuki narrowed his eyes. He will do anything to protect his friend, even kill every single person in this village if it comes down to that. Seeing a sign that said Ichiraku Ramen, he grabbed his friend's hand and dragged him inside. He felt the eyes of the villagers on both him and Naruto, but they were mostly on Naruto. He could hear the faint whispers. He will deal with them soon enough. Welcome. Oh Naruto, nice to see you again. Who's your friend? Tochi asked. Hizuki bowed respectfully. Nice to meet you, my name is Hizuki Otsutsuki. Thank you for allowing my friend to eat here at your establishment. Naruto wondered why he would pick Otsutsuki as his last name but decided to not to ask, knowing his friend had a reason for using that name. Nice to meet you, Hazuki, and there's no need to thank me. Naruto is welcome to eat here anytime he wants. Tsuchi smiled. Oh, but it's best to eat healthy every once in a while too. Hazuki believed that as well, but here was a problem with that, and that was the fact that even if his friend went inside a produce store they would attempt to throw him out because they truly believe him to be a demon instead of a human being. He wondered why Hagoromo wasted his time in protecting humanity at all. Are they even worth protecting? Worth saving? I will make sure Naruto eats healthy foods, namely vegetables that are good for his growing development, Hazuki stated. Naruto blanched at the thought of having to eat vegetables, but knew that Hazuki had already made up his mind on the matter. Good to know Naruto has someone looking out for him. You know, for a kid you know some pretty big words. Tsuchi complimented. I am advanced for my age. Hazuki played it off. Naruto sat down and ordered what he got the last time, and Hazuki ordered he one with vegetables. Naruto whispered in his friend's ear, Hey Hazuki, why did you get the one with vegetables? It's because I need the required sustenance to grow up, as you would call it. My body is now that of a normal human despite some modifications, meaning that I need large requirement of water and healthy foods to grow like I did in my original form. Hazuki explained. What happens when you're completely drained? Naruto questioned. Then I will simply head back to the forest, and take some nourishment from the soil there to heal any critical injuries or restore my strength should I need to, Hazuki told him as their food arrived. Naruto understood and began eating his ramen. His friend was right though. The blonde didn't have to worry about Hazuki at all, since all he had to do was go to the forest heal if he had a serious injury, or anything else that might happen to his friend. He wondered if he revealed what Hazuki really was to the Hokage, would the old man believe him? Would he take Hazuki away from him? The very thought was enough to make the blonde feel sick to his stomach, and out of instinct he grabbed Hazuki's hand, making the boy/tree look at him. He didn't want his new friend to go away. He won't let anyone harm Hazuki. It doesn't matter who they are. He vowed to protect Hazuki no matter what. The two boys went back to eating, with only one of them noticing they were being watched by two individuals. Hazuki knew they were Uchiha, but they didn't feel hostile at all, but that wasn't saying much. The boy decided to ignore them until they tried to make a move towards Naruto. Itachi had been watching them ever since they walked into the eating establishment. His eyes were on Naruto though. He couldn't see if the rumor was true about him having what appeared to be the Sharingan embedded in his forehead. At first he thought it was another excuse the villagers made up to isolate He-boy even further, but it caused so much commotion, and the fact that the Sandaime didn't deny the possibility the boy could have it. For some reason it had bothered Itachi, and not just him. Shursui was curious to know if it was true too and came with his friend to confirm it. Itachi's father Fugaku told them both that the clan elders want the boy brought to them for inspection, but Itachi wasn't stupid, he knew what that meant. The elders were trying to take it, just like they tried to do with Kakashi when Obito Uchiha gave him his eye. They only wanted the Sharingan, and nothing more. So you think it's true? Shursui wondered. I'm not sure. That's why we're here to confirm. Itachi told him. I get it, Shursui told him. I'm just curious, you know. If he really does have the Sharingan, then the clan will either try to take the eye out of him, or force him to join the clan. I don't want that for him. Neither do I. Itachi agreed. They're moving. Shursui kept his eyes on them as the boys left the place. Naruto turned his head at the right time, showing them that he did indeed have what appeared to be the Sharingan embedded in his forehead, but it wasn't the normal red eye, Black Tomo's Sharingan, oh no. It was the Rinna Sharingan. Not only was it a different color, but it was glowing too. Itachi and Shursui nodded towards each other. We cannot let the members of our clan touch him, Shursui told Itachi with a serious expression. There's no telling what they'd make him do. We need to report this to the Hokage immediately. No, you go tell the Hokage. I'll make contact with Naruto-kun and the boy who's with him, Itachi said. Got it. Shursui disappeared via Shunshin, leaving Itachi to make contact with the blonde. Unaware of what was happening, Naruto and Hazuki decided to just walk around the village together. Hazuki saw the hatred in the villagers' eyes had intensified since they truly believed his friend had stolen a Sharingan from the Uchiha clan. Fools. His friend is no thief. And it wasn't the Sharingan, it was the evolved form of both the Rinnegan and Sharingan. Rinne Sharingan. He was on high alert, watching them like hawks, wanting to see what they'd do. Needless to say, he wasn't disappointed. Out of the corner of his eye he saw a villager pick up what looked to be a rock and threw it at his friend, aiming right at his head. Before Hazuki could do anything, Naruto acted first, grabbing the rock and crushing it like it was nothing. He noticed that the boy's Rinne Sharingan was glowing the whole time, as if sensing danger. Naruto looked at his friend as he stared at the palm of his hand. Hey Hazuki, don't worry about it. Enhanced strength comes with eating the chakra fruit. So it's normal, Hazuki told him. Naruto blinked. I see. He walked off again, missing the fact his friend activated his Byakugan, sending a silent threat towards the villagers if they ever tried that again. The villagers themselves were filled with new fear, seeing the demon crush a rock with his bare hands like it was nothing. They made a mental note to report this to the council. As if sensing what they were going to do, Hazuki erased their memories of the moment. Kagaya had done something similar in the past when she first met her lover, and now here he was doing the same thing. However, he was erasing their memories in order to protect Naruto. He didn't know why he had this instinct to protect the boy, he just felt it was the right thing to do. Hizuki sensed an Uchiha was near. Grabbing Naruto's hand, he dragged him towards the forest, not wanting to confront one. Hizuki? Naruto gave his friend a worried look. An Uchiha. He's following us, we have to go back to the forest. Hizuki told him as he kept dragging his friend away from the village and towards the forest. But it was never meant to be, as the Uchiha wearing an ANBU uniform and mask landed before they could even reach the forest. Hizuki stood before Naruto acting as a shield, cursed Uchiha. The boy muttered, his Byakugan active. Itachi's eyes widened as the boy said those words. The man already knew his clan was cursed and were acting like it, but he didn't expect this child to know. And those eyes, is he a Hyuga? Who are you? Are you of the Hyuga clan? Itachi questioned. I'm not. I'm of the Otsutsuki clan, and that's all you need to know. Why have you been following us, Uchiha? Hizuki questioned, his Byakugan still active. Otsutsuki? They really exist? Itachi thought in complete surprise. I am not your enemy. I simply came to ask Naruto Uzumaki some questions regarding his Rinne Sharingan. Naruto narrowed his eyes. How do you know what it's called? He is of the Uchiha clan, and they possess the Sharingan, however their Sharingan can evolve, so it's not surprising they have records about the Rinne Sharingan. I won't let your clan have him, Hizuki declared. You misunderstand my intention, Hizuki-kun. I have no intention of allowing those of my clan to harm Naruto-kun. In fact, we have decided to keep him safe from them for as long as we can. Itachi told him honestly. Who is included in this we you speak of? Hizuki demanded. Shursui Uchiha, my closest comrade. Itachi said. Hizuki could sense no ill will from the man, and no malicious intent either. So he's sincere then. Hizuki relaxed but still had his Byakugan active just in case. Unlike the rest of those of the Uchiha clan, you seem to be sincere in your words and intentions. That's rare for the members of your clan. Hizuki stated. How is it that you know about the Uchiha curse? Itachi questioned. Before I tell you anything, it's best to get rid of some unwanted ears. Hizuki looked out of the corner of his eye and sensed two individuals watching them. There's no point in hiding. Reveal yourselves. The two individuals appeared from the bushes, revealing them to be wearing white robes. Itachi knew who they were immediately. It didn't take a genius not to know. Rude agents. Naruto, stay behind me. Hizuki told him. Right. Naruto got behind his friend. Itachi stood in front of both kids. Why are you here? Stand down, Itachi Uchiha. We have orders to bring in both Naruto Uzumaki and the boy with him. The root agent on the left answered. Hand them over now. The one on the right ordered. Itachi was about to remove his mask to engage them both, but Hizuki walked past him. Protect Naruto. I will handle them, he said. You cannot defeat us. Surrender yourself, now. The one on the left stated. Hizuki was already in front of the two agents, much to their shock, as well as Itachi's Hakusho, 8 trigrams vacuum palm. Releasing a high-speed palm thrust, he sent them both flying away from them and slamming into 2 trees with a loud crack. Their bodies slid down to the ground slowly, and they didn't get back up again. Hizuki deactivated his Byakugan and turned towards them. Follow us, Uchiha. He walked off to the spot where he and Naruto first met, with the blonde following right behind him. Itachi followed without a word, but Deep was curious as to know how the boy knew of a Hyuga clan's technique if he wasn't a member of their clan, but decided to keep the question to himself as he followed them to a secret location. The 2 boys plus Itachi arrived at the very spot Naruto first met Hizuki in his tree form anyway. The 2 boys stood next to each other. Speak, Uchiha, what is it that you know about the Rinne Sharingan? Itachi removed his mask so that they would feel more comfortable. The Rinne Sharingan is known as a Kekkei Mora, bloodline encompassing, an advanced branch jutsu. It is said to be far superior to Kekkei Genkai and Kekkei Toda. This is the first I've seen someone with a bloodline such as this. He looked at Naruto. The only one confirmed to have such a thing was Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the Rikudo Sennin, correct? Hizuki said. Yes, does this mean? Itachi wondered. Hizuki walked over by Naruto, covering his ears, much to the blonde's confusion. Naruto is of the Uzumaki clan, thus making him a clan heir. However, that is not all. He might very well be the reincarnation of 2 individuals who have all but disappeared from history. Who do you mean? Itachi's eyes widened. Hizuki stared at the man. I sense 2 chakra signatures mixed in with his own. They are Hagoromo Otsutsuki and Azura Otsutsuki. It's hard for me to determine which chakra signature is the most dominant, so I have no choice but assume he has both. Itachi's activated his Sharingan, and sure enough he saw it. That means Naruto is a very special child that may very well save this world and bring forth peace. His life will constantly be in danger. Itachi said. It is already in danger. The villagers will resort to killing him the first chance they get, and when that day comes I will be the one to deliver their punishment. Hizuki said. You sound as though you were a god passing righteous judgment on the wicked. Itachi said. Tell me something, Uchiha, have you heard of the Shinju? Hizuki questioned. Shinju? Itachi narrowed his eyes. Yes. It is a tree that produces chakra fruit every thousands of years, however the original one perished due to it becoming the Jubi. However, before it disappeared completely, it planted a small seed that grew over time and produced chakra fruit during the time of Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha, but neither sensed my presence, which is a good thing. Now here in this era Naruto was able to not only sense me but hear my voice. Hizuki explained. Itachi had never heard of this before, so chakra originally from the Shinju that produced chakra fruit. Wait a minute, sense your presence? You can't be. Itachi stared at the boy. Correct. I am the Shinju, child of man. Hizuki revealed. Itachi got down on one leg and bowed before the boy. I apologize if you feel uncomfortable about this, but I feel this is necessary. Hizuki was honestly surprised when a member of the Uchiha clan started bowing to him. He had witnessed many Uchihas in the past, but this is the first time one had accepted the truth about things and even bowed respectfully towards him. This Uchiha was pure-hearted in every way. Raise your head, Uchiha, there is no need to bow to me. I am but a simple tree that has grown tired of observing humans. Hizuki said. You've been watching over us? Itachi inquired. I have been watching humanity since Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha's era. I have been watching over Naruto since one of Hagoromo's creations was manipulated to fight once again by a rogue Uchiha who claimed to be Madara Uchiha. However, I find that claim hard to believe. Hizuki revealed. The Kyuubi was being controlled by a rogue Uchiha? Itachi was taken back by the information. Yes, though I do not know of his identity, it is quite obvious he despises the Uchiha clan and wants to see them disappear. Controlling the Kyuubi has accomplished that goal, the boy said. I see. Itachi said. Another thing you should know. Naruto also possesses the Rinnegan. The Rinnegan? Itachi stared at the blonde who just kept wondering why Hizuki had covered his ears. Correct. Once he has completed his clan sealing arts, among other things, I will be teaching him how to use the dojutsu. His Rinne Sharingan possesses the same qualities as your Sharingan, meaning he could learn Tsukuyomi if he so wishes, but I do not think he would. Hizuki said. I understand. Itachi agreed, telling Hokage-sama about the fact that Naruto has the Rinnegan might be bad considering the dangers it will attract. It's best to keep this to myself. It's also best you keep what I am a secret as well. There is no need for the rest of the human race to know what I am. Only Naruto. Hizuki stated. I understand. Itachi said. Hizuki released his hands from Naruto's ears, allowing the blonde to hear again. What were you two talking about? Don't worry about it. Hizuki rubbed his friend's head, making the boy pout. Itachi felt something watching this scene. It reminded him of his interaction with Sasuke. Maybe someday the two of them can become friends. What now, Hizuki? Now you go back to training. We will watch you. Hizuki said. Okay. I was thinking about working more on the Hiraishin. What do you think? Naruto asked his friend. I believe that is a wise choice. Hizuki agreed. Naruto went off to the scrolls he had laying around on the ground of their hiding place, and looked over the Hiraishin notes again. Hiraishin does he perhaps? Itachi spoke carefully. Know who his parents are? Yes, he does indeed know, but even Naruto understands that announcing his heritage would be a foolish thing to do. They underestimate him and that will be their downfall, not to mention a sign of arrogance. Hizuki stated bluntly without remorse. Itachi was inclined to agree. You mean the elders, correct? Particularly Danzo Shimura. He has tried once before to take Naruto away. Hizuki informed. What? Has he come here himself? Itachi asked with a worried tone. No, he has not. The genjutsu I placed around the forest prevented him, and those that follow him, from getting inside the forest to try and take Naruto away. Hizuki informed. Itachi nodded in understanding. He had the same problems trying to dispel the genjutsu himself, but to no avail. So that's why the Shinju's genjutsu was far superior than any Uchiha's combined. I did it. Itachi looked back towards seeing him with a smile on his face. Did the boy understand the Hiraishin no jutsu? Hizuki, Uchiha-san, I did it. Naruto told them as he walked over by them. Did you figure it out? Hizuki questioned. Naruto pointed towards the tree before them, making them look towards it, and noticed there was a mark on the tree that read, Jutsushiki, on it. The blonde closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. Hiraishin no jutsu. Flying Thunder God technique. He muttered and disappeared in a yellow flash, much to Itachi's astonishment. Looking up, he saw the blonde was standing on the marked spot of the tree. His feet were surrounded in blue chakra. See? I did it. Hizuki smiled. Yes, you did. Good work. Itachi was staring at the boy, surprised by the fact he's able to transfer chakra to his feet with ease. How? When Naruto ate one of my chakra fruits, his chakra control improved. Not only that, but his chakra has increased, but just at the right amount. Hizuki explained. What do you mean? Itachi questioned. Exactly as I said. Hizuki responded. Naruto got down from the tree and marked Hizuki on his left hand, showing the Jutsushiki symbol on it. This way, if we get separated, I can get to you easily. Hizuki stared at the mark on his hand and thought, this is a smart strategy, Naruto. This world is full of dangers and getting to each other quickly is important. Naruto nodded, then looked over at Itachi and bowed politely. Thank you for listening to us, Uchiha-san. Itachi. My full name is Itachi Uchiha, but you may call me Itachi-san if you so wish. Itachi smiled at the boy. Naruto nodded. Itachi-san then. Let's continue training, Hizuki. Very well. Hizuki looked at the Uchiha male. Will you stay as well? Itachi nodded. I will. The fact that Danzo was already making a move on the boy was a sign that Naruto needed 24-hour protection. This is Danzo we're talking about here, so if anyone believes it to be too much then they're wrong. Hokage's office 1:45 p.m. Hiruzen couldn't believe what he was hearing. Are you certain of this? Hiruzen questioned. Shursui nodded. No mistake, Hokage-sama. Naruto has somehow awakened the Rinne Sharingan. To be honest with you, I'm surprised to actually see it exists. It's a different color from what's been told in the Uchiha archives, but there's no mistaking it. Naruto has the Rinne Sharingan. The third eye of the sage. Third eye of the sage? Hiruzen raised a brow. That's what the Uchiha clan called it during the time both Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha were still alive. Hokage-sama, I hope you don't think of me as being out of line for saying this, but I believe Naruto may very well be the reincarnation of the Rikudo Sennin. Shursui gave the man a serious look. The old man's eyes widened at the proclamation. While true the Rikudo Sennin had a third eye just like Naruto does now, he'd always thought of the man to be nothing more but a legend. If what Shursui is saying is true, then the boy might be the savior of the entire world. What makes you believe such a thing? Hiruzen asked. Shursui took a deep breath. During the time Madara Uchiha was still alive there was a prophecy that sounded foreboding, but they took it to heart, and took it seriously. What prophecy? Usagi no Megami, Rabbit Goddess. Shursui said. Hiruzen's eyes widened in complete and utter shock. He remembered that when he was chosen to be the Sandaime, Tobirama told him on complete secrecy of the prophecy that foretold of a goddess that was the first wielder of chakra. Ironically, he overheard this when Madara and Hashirama were speaking to each other in private one day. Madara had mentioned it to Hashirama one day out of the blue, and ever since Tobirama had felt a sense of foreboding. Like this goddess would come down and strike at them. I remember Tobirama-sensei mentioned it to me once out of the blue one day, just like Madara had done to Hashirama. The rabbit goddess, the mother of all chakra. Hiruzen fell back into his chair. So it's true then. Shursui nodded yes. The members of the clan believed that one day the reincarnation of the Rikudo Sennin would appear in a soul full of pureness and love. The third eye is the key to confinement. Should it fail, a new seal will appear to seal the goddess away forevermore. Hiruzen closed his eyes. Naruto, he opened them very calmly. Shursui, do not mention this to any members of your clan. I'm sure Itachi will agree with me on this matter as well. Shursui nodded in agreement. Understood. Where's Itachi now? The Hokage inquired. He's with Naruto and his new friend. Shursui said, noticing the Hokage tense. Friend? Yes. A boy probably about the same age as Naruto. His skin is fairly pale, as is his hair, and he has the same eyes as those of the Hyuga clan. Shursui informed. Are you saying he's a member of the Hyuga clan? Hiruzen questioned. I'm not entirely sure. He was cut off when Itachi materialized next to him. Itachi, great timing. Tell me of the boy that's with Naruto. Hiruzen asked. Sir. His name is Hizuki Otsutsuki. Itachi said. Otsutsuki? The lost clan? Hiruzen and Shursui at the same time. Itachi wasn't surprised that they knew about the clan. Yes, he is of the Otsutsuki clan while also possessing the Byakugan. I'm sure the members of the Hyuga clan will try to approach the boy at some point, but I don't think it will go very well. I agree with you completely in that regard. Anyway, I'm a little suspicious of this boy. I'm assigning A and B dog to watch their every move, specifically this Hizuki Otsutsuki. Hiruzen sported a serious look on his face. Itachi thought about the boy/god tree. I only trust one human, and that is Naruto Uzumaki. If I sense he is in danger in any way from the humans of this village, I will be the one to end humanity. The seriousness of his words are not to be taken lightly. Itachi thought. If the Shinju decided humanity was no longer trustworthy, then it will be their end, and the hope for their survival is Naruto. Naruto's apartment 8:45. Hizuki had the blonde boy on his back as he carried him to his apartment. After Itachi left, Hizuki observed Naruto as he continued to train with the Hiraishin, and so far he was making good progress. When the boy ate from the chakra fruit, his chakra control improved. Not only that, but he also gained enhanced strength and senses, even though the boy was oblivious to that fact. The god tree was still trying to figure out what still possessed him to call out to the boy. Was it because he held the QB within him? Was it because the child was lonely and needed someone show him at least some sign of love and affection? Or was it at some point the Shinju itself was starting to seek companionship after being on this planet and witnessing nothing but bloodshed and hatred? The thought almost made it want to laugh, if that was even possible. Giving Naruto a side glance and seeing his peaceful face for once made it actually feel something, despite it not having experienced human emotions before in its entire life. If Naruto felt threatened, then it would protect him. If Naruto felt sad, then it would comfort him. It would seem that after meeting Naruto and communicating with the blonde made it actually feel something. Opening the apartment door, Hizuki walked in and set Naruto down on the bed softly before pulling the covers over him. For a while he simply stared at his friend's sleeping face with interest. Is this what humans look like when they're at ease? If so, then it's a very interesting expression that the god tree wanted to engrave within its memory. Crouching down on the floor, the god tree leaned back into the bed and closed its eyes, triggering sleep while at the same time staying alert. This is a village full of people who would love nothing more but kill Naruto for something he couldn't help, so it was only logical to protect the boy. And protect he will. Time seemed to fly by with Naruto and Hizuki. The blonde boy continued to train in the forest with the Hazuki/Shinju and finally mastered the first part of the Hiraishin, well, the first level anyway. Now he can focus on the second level of the technique. He also understood Fuinjutsu a lot more thanks to studying the Uzumaki sealing technique scroll left behind by his mother, so that was another accomplishment. Hazuki helped the boy with his Rinnegan training as well, but they were starting off slow, meaning he only taught him the Shinra Tensei, Almighty Push, and Bansho Tenin, Universal Pull. Hazuki believed that only learning these techniques were required right now, and Naruto didn't complain even once. If his friend believed he wasn't ready to learn the other techniques, then he would accept that fact without any complaints. Hazuki also wanted to wait for the boy to use the Rinne Sharingan, seeing as how it can also use the same Genjutsu properties as the Sharingan from small to advanced, like Tsukuyomi, Moon Reader, and Amaterasu, Heavenly Illusion. Itachi and Shursui, the other Uchiha, would always come to visit them while they were training in the forest, acting mostly as bodyguards. The Uchiha clan stopped pestering Fugaku to bring Naruto to them, much to Itachi and Shursui's relief, but both knew it wouldn't last long. When it comes to the Sharingan, the clan was persistent. Kakashi was a prime example of that since his Sharingan was given to him by Obito. Both boys were 6 years old now, meaning they were eligible to attend the academy. Of course there were protests from the civilians and shinobi regarding them both, but the Sandaime didn't care at all and allowed them to attend anyway. Naruto wasn't all that interested though, and neither was Hazuki, but the old man had already signed them up to join, so they would have to deal with it. Naruto sighed, getting Hazuki's attention. You seem upset about something. I don't know if I'm upset about anything, but I know that going to the academy would be, what's the word? Naruto wondered. Annoying. Waste of time. Pointless. Worthless. Hazuki kept on saying words that would fit. I think all of those. Naruto said slowly. Naturally. I was also thinking the same thing. Hazuki said. I don't understand why we have to attend the academy anyway. Naruto sighed again as they were walking towards the building in question. I've already learned everything from you. The reason is because Sarutobi Hiruzen wants you to become a shinobi in order to gain respect and acknowledgement from the villagers and the shinobi population. I find it to be ridiculous. Hazuki stated. I'm not interested in what they think of me anymore. Besides, I'm worried about the seal holding Kagaya. You said it was weakening? Naruto inquired. Yes, though the Rikudo, Chibaku Tensei, 6 paths, Chibaku Tensei, is a powerful seal, even it has its limits through the age of time. Hazuki stated. So the seal has been slowly weakening because it's old and needs to be fixed? Naruto questioned. Correct. The only thing we can do for now is wait, and hope the seal holds out until another sealing method can be used to make sure she stays sealed. Hazuki informed. Naruto nodded, seeing the building come into view. I've been wondering for a long time now, why did Kagaya really come here? Hazuki was curious himself. There must have been a reason she decided to come here, to this planet of all places. The Shinju figured it was because he was here and she simply wanted to devour his chakra fruit. But even he was curious of her real intentions. Was she running from something and needed power from his chakra fruit to help her? Or did she come here to truly create peace? Maybe only her sons know the answer to that question. I do not know how to answer that question, Naruto, for my predecessor was not particularly close to the woman as her sons were. The boy responded. Naruto nodded in understanding as they walked through the gate, passing by other families and their children. The blonde had always wondered what went through Kagaya's head when she decided to come here. He felt that maybe she wasn't a bad person, but her methods of wanting peace by enslaving humanity was wrong. Any form of enslavement was wrong to begin with. The blonde was so deep in thought that he didn't realize they were in the classroom, and he was sat down by Hazuki, who was sitting next to him. Both boys were sitting by the window, where the sun would mostly likely come through. You were in such deep thought that you didn't see we arrived to the classroom, so I guided you here and sat you down. Hazuki explained. Naruto blinked. Oh, thanks. You are welcome. Naruto looked out the window, simply staring at the birds outside as they flew in the sky without a care in the world. That's what he felt like being here in this village. Was there a point in even staying here? Hazuki observed his friend as he looked out the window, ignoring his surroundings in favor of staring off into space. Naruto had been doing that a lot lately. He would space out while either reading, training, and walking. In fact, one time they were walking towards Ichiraku, considering it a snack. Now his body reacted on pure instinct as a drunken villager tried to attack him. The blonde regained his senses only after they arrived at the eatery, and even then he blinked in total confusion as to how they got to Ichiraku so quickly. Hazuki didn't say anything about it because he was sure it wouldn't happen again. He ignored his thoughts in favor of looking to his right, and saw a girl with short blue hair and lavender eyes was watching them. That girl is a Hyuga of pure blood. I also sense a fragment of Hamura Otsutsuki's blood within her. She must be a direct descendant. He noticed that she was blushing at Naruto, not even acknowledging him, making him tilt his head, but not out of confusion, but curiosity. Interesting. Very interesting. She seems to have feelings for Naruto. I will encourage it. Other students began to pile up in the classroom, but Naruto wasn't paying attention to them at all, and just wanted to get this over with already. His prayers were answered when 2 men entered the classroom. Both appeared to be experienced ninja. Good morning everyone and welcome to your first year of the academy. My name is Irika Yumino and this man right here is my assistant Mizuki. The 2 of us will be teaching this classroom. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Irika smiled. Hi Iruka-sensei. The class minus Hazuki and Naruto greeted. Hazuki was observing both men and felt negative emotions coming off from the white-haired man and narrowed his eyes. He could be a problem in the near future. As for the other one, he'll observe him for a little while longer. Iruka's eyes landed on the boys, but more so Naruto, who was still staring out the window watching the birds fly by without a care in the world, and frowned remembering his conversation with the Hokage. Flashback. I must protest, Hokage-sama, Iruka said to the elderly man as they were in his office. Hiruzen stared at the man. What do you protest, Iruka? If I may, Hokage-sama, Naruto Uzumaki should not be around the children, and we know nothing of the other boy that hangs out with him, Iruka told the man. Hiruzen took a smoke from his pipe. There is nothing wrong with Naruto, Iruka. He is nothing more than a normal young man, and that's all. The boy also has trust issues. That's why I put the boy in your class, so you can open him up a little. As for Hazuki, well, I want you to keep an eye on the boy for me. Iruka blinked in confusion. May I ask why, Hokage-sama? Because we don't know what his intentions are with Naruto, that's why. The only reason we haven't brought him in for questioning is because it appears he truly cares about Naruto, Hiruzen explained. Iruka still didn't like the idea of Naruto and Hazuki attending the academy, but agreed with the Hokage anyway. I understand, Hokage-sama. Flashback end. Iruka was cautious around the boy. I mean, how couldn't he be? The QB sealed deep inside him killed his parents. Who knows what might happen if the boy was angered by something so simple? And Hazuki? Well, he didn't know anything about the boy, but he would keep his guard up around him and Naruto. But first, Shikamaru, wake up! Iruka yelled. Shikamaru groaned. Troublesome. The man shook his head. He fell asleep on the first day? Are the Nara clan that damn lazy? To say Iruka was impressed was an understatement. Naruto was quite knowledgeable, as was Hazuki, but the boy took pleasure in toying with Mizuki with his own questions. At least he thinks the boy was toying with the man. The first thing he learned about Hazuki is that the boy shows no emotion at all. He always had a blank look on his face, and as he spoke his voice was completely monotone, not showing a hint of emotion, something that made his spine shiver. He heard this boy came from a clan, the Otsutsuki clan. Are they the reason he shows no emotion? Currently it was recess time, and he was keeping a close eye on his students, but more so on Naruto and Hazuki, who were sitting against the tree. Well, Naruto was sitting down while Hazuki was standing up. They appeared to be talking about something, which made him worry because the boys had serious looks on their faces. What on earth could they be talking about? Iruka wondered. I feel something whenever I look up at the sky at night, Naruto said. Hazuki's interest was piqued. What do you mean? The blonde looked up at the clear blue sky in wonder. Last night when I was looking at the moon, I think I felt her. Kagaya? Are you sure? He wanted to be sure the seal wasn't weakening. The blonde shivered outwardly. I felt so cold. Cold? Naruto nodded. I'm sure of it. It felt cold, distant, lonely, and there were probably other things I felt too, but it was just too much for me. So I stopped looking. But there was one thing I felt that was stronger than the others. Hazuki was curious as to what his friend meant by that, but knew it was important to ask. What was it? Naruto slowly turned his head towards the gray-haired boy. Rage. It was the one that overlapped the others completely. Just saying the very word made him want to run away and hide somewhere and never come back out. The blonde had never felt such intense emotions before. Sure, he felt hatred all around the village, which were always directed at him, but never as intense as it felt with Kagaya Otsutsuki. It's possible she felt such rage because of the fact she was sealed away by her two sons Hagoromo and Hamura, but that's where it gets confusion for him too, because he thought he felt something warm mixed in with all that rage. Maybe, just maybe, she didn't really hate them. It was just a thought, but that's all he could think of. Hazuki stared at the blonde, seeing his face in intense concentration as he thought about Kagaya, the rabbit goddess. It always made the Shinju curious as to why the woman came to the planet in the first place. There were other dimensions that probably had other chakra fruits, but she came here to this dimension, became a concubine, and had two children who eventually sealed her away to stop her from enslaving humanity in her own twisted way of creating peace. He noticed something out of the corner of his eye and saw it was the same girl as before. She was hiding behind a tree not too far from them, stealing glances at Naruto for what felt like every single second. I find it interesting that she harbors feelings for him, yet can't muster up the courage to speak to him. From my experience with the Hyuga clan, none of them are this docile, yet here she is. Furthermore, why do I sense another dojutsu within her? I see, the Tensigen. Hazuki hadn't forgotten that Hamura possessed the Tensigen, as did his descendants, but the Hyuga clan were only distant relatives though. But this girl Hinata Hyuga is special compared to the rest of her clan. Hazuki looked to his friend, Naruto. If there was someone out there that truly loved you no matter what, would you like to spend the rest of your life with that person? Hazuki asked. Naruto blinked, unsure of how to answer such a thing, but found it in him to respond. If that person is really out there, I think I'd like to be near that person for a very long time. Hazuki looked over at Hinata, seeing her grip the tree she was hiding behind, and decided to get more information from his friend. Of all the females in our class, which one of them do you find the most pleasant? Hinata Hyuga. Naruto answered instantly. Hazuki heard a eep from behind the tree and knew the girl hadn't expected that at all, and honestly neither did Hazuki. But his curiosity was still piqued. And why Hinata Hyuga? Naruto looked up at the sky and smiled. She feels warm. Warm? I can feel it. She's warm, kind, and strong. The whole fawning over Sasuke doesn't interest her, and she's the type to put others' feelings above her own, and I like that about her. If she has a dream, then I want to help support it. Naruto explained. Hizuki heard a thump and knew the girl had fainted, probably due to the heartfelt compliments Naruto was giving her. Iruka-sensei, Hinata fainted. A student called out. Naruto turned his head quickly as he heard that, feeling something akin to worry. She will be fine, don't worry. Hizuki actually let a smirk grace his lips as he watched the man grab the girl and rush inside the building. How amusing. Hinata Hyuga, you should consider yourself lucky. The boy thought. Naruto, there are some birds nearby. Naruto stood up quickly. He seemed to have taken a liking to the small animals. Not only that, but some of the birds would flock over to him, much to blonde's hidden excitement and joy. The two boys walked over to where the birds were and saw a family of birds perched on top of a tree branch. The mother bird was tending to her young. There were 3 baby birds. Naruto felt something in his chest again, something he couldn't identify. What is this I'm feeling? Longing? Hizuki mentioned that word to me once. Is that what this is? Shaking his head, he looked back up to the family of birds again with a small smile, only to have it wiped from his face as a rock was flung at the nest, sending it tumbling down, along with the baby birds who couldn't fly yet. They crashed to the ground, obvious signs of their wings being broken, prompting Naruto to go rushing over to them with worry, while Hizuki looked over towards the perpetrators. They were 3 older boys who were smirking at their handiwork. "Aw, look at that, the freak is trying to help the weak little birds." The middle one, assumed to be the leader, smirked. "What an idiot." The other mocked. "Hey freak, why don't you just leave them to die?" The last one said. Something snapped inside Hizuki, something he thought he'd never feel. Anger. Without hesitation he rushed at the boys, taking them all down as though they were nothing but weaklings themselves, and grabbed the middle one by his shirt, pointing 2 fingers at his eye sockets. "You take pleasure in being cruel? Then I will respond in kind." He was about to gauge the boy's eyes out, but was stopped when a hand clamped on his wrist. Looking to his right, he saw it was Iruka Umino. "Can I help you?" "What are you doing, Hizuki?" Iruka yelled. "I think it would be fairly obvious to you as to what I am doing," Hizuki said, as though taking out someone's eyes was no big deal. "I am going to make sure he never sees the light again after committing a heinous atrocity." Iruka was trying to figure out how the hell a 6-year-old knew such words, but filed that down for later. "What do you mean?" "While we were simply watching the birds over there, they deemed it fit to throw a rock at them, then taunted the helpless little ones. Also, they deemed it funny to insult my friend by calling him a freak, so I am going to take out his eyes as punishment," Hizuki stated simply. "You can't just do that, Hizuki. I will punish them myself, so there's no need to do this." Iruka tried to move the boy's hand away but couldn't, so strong. Hizuki had no interest in what this man was saying and proceeded to bring his hand towards the crying boy, but stopped again. "Hizuki, stop," said boy, froze in place, much to Iruka's confusion. Both of them looked over at Naruto, who had a pleading look on his face, something Iruka had never seen before. With a sigh, the boy tossed the crying boy aside like garbage and walked away. "I've lost interest in this weakling." The boy he tossed away was curled up in a ball, making Iruka wince, figuring out what to say to the boy's parents. Instead, he looked over at the 2 boys. Seeing Naruto's face was sad that the baby birds were hurt. He walked over to them and bent down. "Naruto, are you okay?" Naruto shook his head. "That was cruel. They did nothing wrong, but they threw a rock at them, then laughed their evil." Iruka winced again, but this time inwardly. The boy already has trust issues from what he could tell, but now it just took another all-time low. Naruto brought up his other palm and hovered it above the bird. "It's okay. I'll heal you." "No, okay. What do you mean, Naruto?" Iruka asked in confusion. "Watch and see," Hizuki said, having the mother bird perched on his shoulder. "Shosen Jutsu, mystical palm technique." Naruto muttered. A soft green glow surrounded the little injured baby bird, making Iruka's eyes widen. "That jutsu? It's an A-rank technique. Not only that, but it's the Iryo ninjutsu, medical ninjutsu. When did Naruto learn to do this?" Iruka thought. Naruto stopped healing the little baby bird and watched it perk right back up, making him smile. All better. Iruka couldn't believe his eyes. This boy just used an A-rank jutsu without so much as looking tired. He had to tell the Hokage about this. "Say that again, Iruka?" Hiruzen looked at the man. "Sir, Naruto Uzumaki performed an A-rank medical jutsu known as Shosen Jutsu, mystical palm technique, on baby birds that were injured because of 3 students who are above my class." "What happened?" the old man inquired. "From what Hizuki has told me, the 3 boys threw a rock at the bird's nest. He and Naruto were watching, then taunted them, prompting Hizuki to teach them a lesson. Had I not stopped him, he would have gouged one of the boys' eyes out," Iruka reported. "What?" Hiruzen said, alarmed. "Don't worry, Naruto stopped him in favor of helping the baby birds." Iruka smiled. Hiruzen breathed a sigh of relief. "That boy is more dangerous than I originally believed." "What do you mean, Hokage-sama?" Iruka inquired. "I've had my ANBU observe the boy closely. He shows no emotion towards anyone else, always having a blank look on his face, and when he looks at you it feels as though he's staring at your very soul," the old man described. Iruka could relate because he and Mizuki have both been feeling that way towards the boy, but more so him. "I think I understand what you're saying, Hokage-sama. He doesn't act like a normal child." Hiruzen nodded in agreement. It probably has something to do with the fact that the Otsutsuki clan weren't very good with expressing themselves to begin with, seeing as how they decided to stay away from humanity for a long time. And yet here one is with Naruto watching over him like some kind of protector. He muttered to himself. Hokage-sama? Iruka said. Nothing. Just me rambling. I must say I'm impressed Naruto knows such an advanced jutsu. If Tsunade were here she'd be just as impressed that a 6-year-old was able to execute the Shosen Jutsu, mystical palm technique, so well. He might graduate early. Hiruzen smiled. Iruka found himself smiling too. I think you're right, Hokage-sama. Naruto found learning history to be interesting. He already knew some stuff from Hizuki, but he still didn't get tired of hearing it no matter how many times he hears a part of history. Too bad Iruka wasn't talking about the Otsutsuki clan, but that was to be expected since the records on them don't exist here on Earth. Well, some do, but they were probably for the higher-ups' eyes only. He took down notes without even realizing it, showing just how much he was interested in the subject. He looked in front of him and noticed Shikamaru was fast asleep but wasn't worried about him since he knew the Nara clan were practically geniuses, with Shikamaru being the prodigy of the clan with his high IQ. Iruka was impressed the boy was interested in the history part of their lesson and even took notes. At least he knew the boy enjoyed history. Hizuki meanwhile appeared to be bored, as though he already knew all the information he was discussing with the class. Shrugging inwardly, he continued on with the lecture. Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha were both clan heads of the Senju and Uchiha clan and founded Konohagakure. Both clans had come to a peaceful solution thanks to the founding of the village and decided to choose who would become the Hokage in order to lead the village, and thus, Hashirama Senju was chosen for that role as the Shodaime. Iruka lectured. Naruto narrowed his eyes as he wrote everything down. Iruka was saying, it wasn't as peaceful as some people may think. Madara Uchiha wasn't exactly happy not being chosen as Hokage, and he didn't even get back up from his clan to overthrow Hashirama Senju because they were tired of all the hatred and bloodshed. Did Madara Uchiha even consider Hashirama Senju his friend in the first place, or was that all a lie? Could the clan really be cursed as Hizuki said they were? When Hizuki called Itachi a cursed Uchiha, he didn't seem mad at all and accepted the verbal insult, if you could even call it that. Itachi probably knew that the clan was cursed if he didn't have that much or a reaction. What caused the Uchiha clan to have so much hatred in the first place? After the history lesson was over, it was time to go back outside the classroom for weapons practice. For today they were to practice throwing shuriken at the wooden statues before them. The goal was to try and hit as many targets as you could. Simple enough. Alright class, today we're going to practice throwing shuriken using target practice. Each of you will try to see how many targets you can hit. Now don't be discouraged if you don't hit all of them. The purpose of this exercise is to simply see how many of the targets you can hit, okay? Iruka instructed. Hi, Iruka-sensei. The class except Naruto and Hizuki said. Naruto instantly knew what Hizuki was thinking right now, and the word of the day was pointless. That was the expression Hizuki wore on his face as he stared at the pointless exercise and saw no merit to it at all, but then again, that's just how he is. Naruto wasn't really all that interested either. He doesn't even want to become a shinobi, but the Sandaime insisted. Not to mention the man already signed both him and Hizuki up for the academy, so there's nothing they could do about it now. First up is Sasuke Uchiha. Iruka announced. The girls went crazy for the Uchiha boy, all except Hinata Hyuga, who only had eyes for Naruto. Sasuke stepped up until he was in the middle of the field before taking out some shuriken. He threw them at all the targets he could hit, getting in a crouching position once he got all the targets he could. Iruka nodded his head. Good work Sasuke, 9 out of 10. Kaya, Sasuke-kun and his fangirls screamed, annoying the boys around them, except Naruto and Hizuki, who once again didn't really care. Iruka had to suppress the urge to sigh at the females except Hinata, who was glancing at Naruto with a small blush on her cheeks. It was actually really cute. Next up is Naruto Uzumaki. The blonde in question sighed, stepping up until he was in the middle and took out some shuriken before doing something that made everyone's jaws drop to the floor. He disappeared, then reappeared in the same spot with the shuriken he threw, hitting every target. Naruto blinked. That was easy. He thought, walking back over to Hizuki standing next to him, not noticing the looks he was getting from his classmates, or glares from Sasuke's fangirls, but the blonde didn't notice and instead stared up at the blue sky, seeing so many clouds gathered around. The sky always makes me feel something, but I can't describe what that feeling is. I'll ask Hizuki later. Iruka was completely flabbergasted by the blonde boy's performance, but managed to clear it from his mind long enough to write down what he got. Excellent work, Naruto. 10 out of 10. Next is Hizuki Otsutsuki. A boy snorted. Otsutsuki, what a stupid name. The last name Otsutsuki actually has meaning, unlike your name, which means nothing at all. If you're going to insult someone, then be prepared to face the same fate. But then again, I shouldn't expect nothing less from a fool who has no real purpose except to be an idiot, Hizuki stated as he walked to the center, ignoring the boy's expression as he stood there with nothing to say as the rest of the class snickered. Hizuki had gotten a perfect score just like Naruto did, showing no emotion at all as he walked back over to his friend. Pointless. Naruto nodded in agreement. The ending results. Naruto Uzumaki 10/10. Hizuki Otsutsuki 10 out of 10. Sasuke Uchiha 9 out of 10. Hinata Hyuga 8/10, Ino Yamanaka 7 out of 10, Shikamaru Nara 7/10, Choji Akimichi 6/10, Shino Abirame 6/10, Sakura Haruno 5/10, Kiba Inuzuka 5 out of 10. All in all, Iriko was impressed by the display of the young soon-to-be genins. The man did wonder though, where had Naruto learned to throw shuriken so precisely and learn an A-rank medical ninjutsu? The boy had so many secrets, and that can either be good or bad for the village. While true, every shinobi is entitled to their own secrets. But if it's something that can possibly harm the village, then the boy would be brought to the council, and by force. But there was a feeling in the back of his head that suggested such a thing would never happen so long as Hizuki was by his side. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief as they left the academy grounds. He didn't know why, but for some reason he felt as though someone was watching him. But that wasn't possible, right? Sensing he was being watched again, he turned his head slightly and met lavender eyes that quickly went back to hiding behind the lamppost. His eyes widened. He was being watched by Hinata Hyuga, the girl who practically oozed that warm feeling he always felt around her. It felt really nice. Hizuki noticed a real actual smile form on his friend's face and turned to the direction of where he was looking and saw Hinata watching them as they walked away. Meeting each other's eyes, Hizuki put his fingers to his lips, signaling he knew she liked him and would keep it to himself. The girl in question blinked in confusion at the gesture before blushing in understanding and nodding her head as a sign of gratitude. Nodding his head, he looked ahead of him again. Naruto, there is a new cafe that has recently opened up. Would you like to go see it? A cafe? What's it like? Naruto asked. From what I have observed, it is a nice and quiet place that welcomes all who go there, but for some reason the people run out screaming and never come back. I wish to know why, don't you? Hizuki said. Naruto nodded. It sounds interesting. Why don't we go see? Hizuki nodded and guided them to where he first laid eyes on the new establishment, ignoring the villagers' scornful looks that directed at them both and simply concentrated on finding the place. Their search was a success because they arrived at the point of origin. The blonde stared up at the sign that read, Lunar Tear Cafe. Lunar Tear sounds like a flower. Naruto commented. I believe it is. Hizuki opened the door and Naruto followed right behind him. Quite the spacious place, isn't it? The outside of the cafe was black with white blooming flowers coming out of it, and the inside looked just as good with the chairs being black with the same flowers blooming from underneath them. It was a nice setting and atmosphere for the place. Ah, welcome. A voice greeted them. Turning their heads, they saw the most interesting if not strangest thing ever. Before them was a head that sported a creepy smile, its body covered in what looked to be long fabric, but you could clearly see its feet dangling from underneath it. It was also holding what looked to be a staff of some kind. Nier is an amazing game that I highly recommend to anyone who hasn't played it yet. Nier Automata is also very good. Naruto found himself interested in the person that greeted them. Hello, what's your name? The figure tilted its head. Wow, you're the first two that didn't run away screaming in terror at seeing me like this. What do you mean? There's nothing wrong with you at all. Naruto said. I agree, but now I know why those fools kept running away. Hizuki chimed in. The figure set its head right. Thank you, that means a lot to me. Oh. My name's Emil. What are your names? Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto introduced. Hizuki Otsutsuki. Hizuki greeted. Oh wow. You're both from powerful clans. The Uzumaki and Otsutsuki. Emil said enthusiastically. Ah, it's nice to see someone appreciate both of our clans in such a way. Hizuki said. Emil chuckled. You remind so much of Weiss. He speaks the exact same way as you do, except he adds insults every once in a while. Naruto smiled. Sounds just like Hizuki. Why do I have this feeling you just compared me to an object? The boy narrowed his eyes at Emil. Emil started to get nervous. Oh, well, let me show you to your seats. He floated away with Naruto and Hizuki walking right behind him. Emil brought them to the counter where, having enjoyed their company so far and wanted to talk with them some more, Naruto and Hizuki sat down eager to see what this place had to offer. Here are your menus, see anything you like? Emil asked. Naruto and Hizuki looked at the stuff that was offered in fascination. Drinks, cappuccino, cafe macchiato, affogato, flat white, latte, doppio, long black, iced coffee, Irish coffee, cortado, liquor coffee, desserts, mochi, crepes, coffee jelly, imagawayaki, castella, hishimochi, girls' day only, butter cake, red velvet cake, cream pie, flourless chocolate cake, the list goes on. Both boys were interested in trying all of them, but that would be rude towards the owner of the place. Naruto stared at the drink section. For the drink I'll have flat white, and coffee jelly. I will simply have water and crepes. Hizuki said. Right, coming right up. Emil went to the back to inform whoever makes the desserts. Emil arrived to the back and saw a woman wearing undergarment clothing, silvery white hair that was tied in a bun with a strand hanging down and braided in one part, long bandages on her left arm and leg, wearing gray heels, and dark purple eyes. Kane, we have customers. Emil said happily. Said woman turned to the boy. Really? Normally the assholes just run away as soon as they see you. These two are different. Their names are Naruto Uzumaki and Hizuki Otsutsuki. Emil said. Naruto Uzumaki and Hizuki Otsutsuki. Oh yeah, I remember hearing those names around here. Except they call the blonde one demon brat or some shit. Don't know much about the other one. Kane said. That's awful. I can't believe they would say such mean things, Emil said, sounding angry. Kids probably got a lot of baggage to carry, and those assholes don't give a damn about anyone but themselves. Did the kid order anything? Kane questioned. Oh yes, he did. Naruto-san ordered a flat white and coffee jelly, while Hizuki-san ordered water and crepes, Emil said. Kane snorted. Kids ordering shit for adults? Starting to like them already. Tell them I'm making it now. Okay. Emil flew back to the front, leaving Kane to herself to make their drunks and desserts. Maybe coming to this shithole of a village won't be so damn boring after all, she muttered. Emil flew back to the front and engaged in a conversation with Naruto and Hizuki. All three found the conversation to be enjoyable. They were somewhat surprised when Emil told them he used to be human but got his new body under certain circumstances. The boy also told them that because of his new appearance, he faced a little prejudice and discrimination. Naruto understood this and revealed the reason the villagers hated him so much. He revealed he was a Jinchuriki, that one of Biju was sealed inside him since he was just a newborn, and because of that he was subjected to the same treatment as Emil. He was thrown out of stores, sometimes had stuff thrown at him, and was kicked out of the orphanage when he was still very young. The people also called him Demon Brat to his face, but after a while he just didn't care anymore. Hizuki revealed that he wasn't even human, just took on a human form to be close to Naruto. I see we've all got something in common then. But still, I don't understand why humans are so cruel towards each other for things they can't control. Emil wondered. He had asked himself that many times and still has no answer. I don't know, Emil-san, I still wonder that myself, Naruto admitted. In my opinion, humans have many sides to them, with cruelty being one of the most ugliest to experience firsthand. Hashirama Senju created this village in the hopes there would be no war, no prejudice, no discrimination, and that everyone would be treated equally regardless of who you are or where you come from. But as you can see, the people of this village no longer care about such things. Hizuki stated, as though he had figured everything out about the human race. Well, he is the Shinju and has been observing for a long time, so it's not all that surprising. Naruto closed his eyes. Maybe someday people will learn. Emil nodded in agreement. I hope for the same thing. Hizuki closed his eyes. I am skeptical, but anything can happen. There was a feminine snort. What's with the gloomy atmosphere in here? You three become depressed all of a sudden? They turned to see Kane with their order struggling a little, so Emil helped her by carrying Hizuki's order, setting it down for him, while Kane gave Naruto his order. Thank you, Naruto stared at the woman. Kane. Thank you, Kane-san? Naruto thanked with a smile. Kane raised a brow, then smirked. I'll take it. What about you, kid? She gestured over to Hizuki. Yes, thank you, Kane-sama, Hizuki said respectfully. Emil whipped his head in his direction real quick. Kane's smirk got even wider. Oh yeah, I like you kids already. Naruto smiled and drank his flat white, his eyes instantly lighting up in happiness. So good, this tastes amazing. Hizuki also complimented. Thanks, Kane said. The blonde took a bite from his coffee jelly, smiling in complete bliss. Good, this crepe is really good. Hizuki had a satisfied look on his face, while his eyes showed satisfaction anyway. We're really glad you like it, Emil said. If I may, why is it that you don't have more customers? The drinks and desserts are too. What was the phrase to die for? Hizuki asked in curiosity. Kane snorted. Weak assholes can't handle a meal, so the pussies avoid this place. You don't have a problem with it though. We do not. My friend and I do not judge someone simply by the way they look, Hizuki told her honestly. They've completely ignored the fact that she's been swearing since she appeared. I'm glad it doesn't bother them. Emil smiled inwardly. How nice of you, Kane said playfully. Naruto stared at Kane, feeling there was something more to her for some reason but couldn't figure out what. Kane sensed this and said something about it. You've got something to say, or are you just gonna stare all damn day? He blinked, then asked slowly. Kane-san, are you? She sighed and walked around the counter towards the boy, grabbing his wrist, gently letting him touch her bandaged arm. That's when he felt it. Some sort of dark energy that was mixed in with Kane's. This is a shade. You probably don't know what the hell that is, and that's fine. Having it doesn't make it a sin. The same thing goes for you and the Biju you have sealed in you. It's a part of you now, meaning the two of you share the same existence and have to coexist with each other. I don't know much about it, but something tells me you'll be fine if you keep moving forward, Kane told him wisely. Naruto meanwhile sat there and took her words to heart. Never before had someone told him that before. She understood what it was like to have another being living inside of you and the pain that comes with it, and yet here she is still alive and moving forward without fear and full of confidence. Nodding his head, he responded to the woman. Move forward, I want to try that. Kane showed a rare smile. Good. Naruto felt as though a huge weight was lifted from his shoulders, something that was greatly welcome too. He made a mental note to give something special to Kane at some point, but first he had to devour this coffee jelly, for it was so good. Hizuki and Naruto were sleeping in the same bed. It's not weird to them at all. Besides, Hizuki actually feels really soft for a Shinju. Naruto's Rinne Sharingan started opening its eye as it glowed blue, waking the blonde up. Sitting up slowly, he opened the window and jumped up to the roof, staring up at the full moon. If you look closely, you'd see his eyes look dull, as though he were in a trance. His Rinne Sharingan was still glowing faintly, but that would soon change. Rikudo Senin Fuinjutsu, Sage of Six Paths Sealing Technique. Naruto muttered as his Rinne Sharingan glowed brighter, its eye fully open, its blue Sharingan eye reflecting over the moon, perfectly showing a blue glow to those who were awake to see it. Unknown to those who did or did not see it, Naruto was tightening the seal so that it would make it hard for Kaguya to try and break free, that is if she was really trying to break free. As soon as the light came it disappeared again, the Rinne Sharingan no longer reflecting off the moon as Naruto's third eye closed completely as he fell backwards into Hizuki's arms. The blonde was out cold and won't be waking up for a while. Hizuki looked up at the moon and narrowed his eyes. Just now was he strengthening the seal? If that's the case, then maybe Kaguya's awakening might not happen as I thought it would. Unknown location. He heard it. His mother's cries, he heard it clearly. This was the first time he'd heard her cry so loud and painfully before that it was hard for him to believe, but his mother was crying out in pain for some reason. Question is, what the hell happened? Naruto yawned softly as they were once again outside on academy grounds for recess. Tired? You're tired? Hizuki looked at him as they were by the tree with the swing on it. Yeah, I don't know why either. We left Kane-san's cafe, went to the forest to train until it was nighttime, came back and fell asleep. I don't know why I'm so sleepy. Naruto rubbed his eyes. Hizuki knew why he was so tired but kept it to himself. Naruto's not ready to know yet. When he's older I'll tell him why he's feeling exhausted. Naruto noticed the look on Hizuki's face and raised a brow. What's wrong? Hizuki shook his head. Nothing. Okay. Naruto stretched his arms above his head. But still I shouldn't be this tired. Maybe all that training wore me out a lot more than I thought? Naruto wondered. Perhaps. Hizuki said. Naruto whipped his head to the side and saw who was calling out to them, and it was none other than Hinata Hyuga. Why was she here? Hinata fidgeted as she stood before them, her nervousness almost getting the better of her in her attempt to talk to Naruto. Taking a deep breath she spoke up again. Would you play with me? She asked shyly, her cheeks turning pink. Naruto blinked, then turned to Hizuki, who nodded his head. The girl was trying to connect with them. The blonde turned to her. Sure. Hinata's whole face turned red and she had to shake her head to stay conscious. Thank you. Naruto held his hand out to her much to her confusion. Can I hold your hand? Hinata exclaimed. I want to feel what it's like to hold hands with someone. Naruto told her honestly. Hinata blinked before her whole face became red and steam came out of her ears before once again taking a deep breath to calm her frazzled nerves and slowly but surely grabbed his hand and squeezed it gently as if to confirm this was really happening, and it was. She was holding Naruto's hand and it felt great. Naruto gave her a gentle smile, which was a first for him, but something in the back of his head told him this was the right thing to do. What would you like to do, Hinata? Well, we could just sit here and, she swallowed hard, determined to push through. Talk? Sounds good to me. Naruto said. I'd like that as well. Sometimes having conversations, no matter how trivial, is pleasant. Hizuki stated. Hinata responded. In other words, he'd love to. Naruto translated for her. Oh. Hinata said nervously. She was still trying to figure Hizuki out, and she wasn't the only one. She had a feeling the senseis were trying to understand his way of speech too. Hinata, what's the Hyuga clan like? Naruto asked innocently. Hinata poked her fingers together. We're separated into different houses. The main branch and branch house. Those born on the branch side are immediately sealed with the Kago no Tori no Juin, caged bird curse seal. Kago no Tori no Juin, caged bird curse seal? Naruto questioned. It is the Hyuga main family's Juinjutsu, Hizuki answered. The seal's purpose is to seal the Byakugan at death, so that its secrets never fall into the hands of someone outside the clan. However, its other purpose is to control the branch house. It can be activated at will by a member of the main branch with a simple hand sign. Activating the seal destroys the wearer's brain cells. Naruto closed his eyes, tilting his head upwards. Just goes to show not every clan is as united as they make themselves out to be, especially the Hyuga clan. I hate it. Hinata said. You hate the caged bird seal, don't you? Naruto guessed. She nodded. I do. I want it to go away forever. But Tusama sees me as a disappointment in his eyes and has named Hanabi clan heiress. But I still want the seal to disappear. Naruto felt the urge to comfort her, so that's what he did. You're not a disappointment. You're special. Hinata blushed. He tilted his head up towards the sky, smiling. I can tell, you're not a disappointment for not wanting to be what someone wants you to be. Being your own person is what makes you special, and I think you're a special person, Hinata. Hinata couldn't help the steady rhythm in her heart as she stared at her crush as he told her those words. She found the weight that was pressing down on her be lifted just a little. Thank you. Hizuki turned to her. If you want to improve your Jukin, then might I be of assistance? You know our taijutsu? Hinata blinked. I do. In truth, it's pointless for the caged bird seal, for anyone can copy your taijutsu skills by simply observing it firsthand, including your other styles. Hizuki stated. What? Hinata exclaimed. If Hizuki says so, then it's true, Naruto said. Maybe I can find a way to get rid of the caged bird seal somehow, since the Hyuga clan have sealing techniques of their own. I think that would be wise. Hizuki agreed. Hinata stared at the blonde. Naruto-kun, why would want to get rid of the seal? I'm doing it for you. Naruto said simply. For me? He nodded. I don't like seeing that sad look on your face. You look better when you smile. Steam came out of her head as her whole face became red, making both males jump for a minute. Are you okay? Naruto asked. I am fine. She out a hand to her chest. My heart's beating so fast. This feeling, could it be? Hinata Hyuga, if you wish to train without the eyes from your clan watching, I would be more than willing to assist you. Hizuki told her. Really? Hinata gave him a hopeful look. He nodded. If you are willing. I am. Hinata stood up abruptly. Very well, we will start tomorrow after school. Hizuki told her. Why yes, she said. Naruto felt the invisible shadow disappear, making him look around. He'd felt them before, but they haven't gotten close to him yet, only watching him. I'd better tell Hizuki. Underground base. Danzo was waiting for one of his troops to return from his observing activity. He didn't have to wait long for one of his troops arrived quickly and give him a report. Well, Danzo-sama, the targets simply talked with each other, and that's all. They did not show any high-level ninjutsu skills like last time. The agent reported. Danzo turned to his agent and... Did you get close enough to hear what they were saying? No, the one target called Hizuki sensed me watching them, so I was unable to get close enough to hear what they were saying. The agent reported. The old man narrowed his eyes. Who is this child? And where did he come from? He thought. Maintain surveillance. Sir. And with that the agent disappeared. Danzo stared at the same spot his agent disappeared from. I think it's time to bring this boy under my thumb. Naruto opened his eye only to see nothing but a desert wasteland and nothing else. Somehow this deserts felt lonely and isolated. He had felt this once before. Who are you? Turning his head sharply behind him, he saw a boy with short red spiky hair, black rings underneath his eyes as though he hadn't slept a wink in God knows how long, pale green eyes and soft smooth skin. His facial expression showed confusion with a hint of fear. It was like looking into a mirror just looking at this kid. Naruto realized he hadn't responded to the boy's question and spoke. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Who are you? The boy blinked, then responded, a little hesitant at first though. Gaara Sabaku. Gaara, your name sounds unique. Naruto smiled. Gaara didn't understand. What does unique mean? Huh. Oh, Hizuki explained to me about that word once. It means your name is a one of a kind, unlike anything else. Naruto explained. Oh, what about you? Is your name unique too? Gaara asked timidly. It means whirlpool, Xian from the Uzumaki clan, and I was given a name that represents them since I might be the only one left in the world. Naruto told him. Gaara nodded in understanding. Why are you here? Honestly, I'm not all that sure. Maybe you called me here because you were lonely? Naruto guessed. Lonely? Gaara said. Yeah, looking around this place feels isolated and alone. I know what that feels like because I've been there before. Naruto got a distant look in his eyes. Are you lonely too? Gaara questioned. I used to be, but I have Hizuki with me and now Hinata and you too. Naruto smiled. Me? Meeting you here means I'll get to see you real soon in person. Or at least that's what I think it means. The blonde scratched his cheek a little. Gaara stared at the blonde, then slowly a shy smile appeared. I like you too. I'm glad. See, I'm not good with expressing my emotions all that well, and neither is Hizuki, so we tend to just keep to ourselves. Naruto admitted. Me neither. The people of my village hate me and call me names because I have Shikaka sealed inside me, but Yashimaru takes good care of me. Gaara smiled, seeing they had that in common. Shikaku? You mean you have a Biju sealed inside you too? Naruto blinked, taken off guard by the sudden information. Biju? Gaara tilted his head. That's what they're called. But you know yours by name and I don't, but that's okay. I have the Kyubi sealed inside me. Naruto revealed. Gaara was even more surprised. You're just like me? Naruto nodded and approached Gaara slowly so not to scare him, then touched his stomach. They call us Jinchuriki, and I really don't like being called that. The Biju weren't supposed to be sealed inside humans at all. I promised Kyubi-san that I would free him and his friends. Gaara for some reason didn't mind that Naruto was touching his stomach. It felt nice. Does this mean I'm not a monster? You're not a monster and neither am I. We're just different and people don't like that. But who cares? No matter what anybody says, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, and I'm glad to be different than everyone else. And I know that I know nothing about you, but I really like you, Gaara, Naruto said honestly. Really? You really like me? Gaara asked fearfully, hoping he wasn't lying. Naruto held his pinky out and Gaara held out his pinky and linked it with the blonde's with a small smile. Will you be my friend? Of course. I was going to ask you the same thing. Naruto smiled. A white light was slowly descending upon them, making Gaara scared because Naruto was disappearing. Naruto. He cried out. Don't worry, we'll meet again. I know we will. Naruto assured him as the white light blinded them both. Naruto opened his eyes, slowly blinking them to clear his vision as he stared at the ceiling. His third blue eye stopped glowing and closed, but he was unaware of that as he sat up and rubbed his head. Dream? No, he was definitely real. There was a rustling of sheets next to him, signaling Hizuki had woken up. What's wrong? Did you have another dream? Hizuki questioned. No, I don't think it was a dream. It felt too real for that. Naruto said. What do you mean? Hizuki asked. Gaara, I met someone named Gaara and he's a Jinchuriki just like me. He has Shikaku. Naruto said. The Ichibi. I see, and where is Gaara? Hizuki asked. Naruto closed his eyes. I don't know where he is, but when I met him we were surrounded by sand and the wind was blowing a lot. So he lives in Sunagakure no Sato, village hidden by sand then. Hopefully we will meet him but only time will tell, until then you'll have to communicate with him through your dreams. Hizuki said. Hizuki, his eyes are the same as mine used to be. Naruto looked out the window. Sadness and loneliness. Yes, you used to have such a look on your face before you met me. I believe your subconscious called Gaara out as someone similar to you and formed a connection. Hizuki guessed. I said the same thing. Naruto said. Then there is no problem. You two will meet again, whether it be your dreams or in person. Hizuki got out the bed. Let's get ready to go. Yeah. Naruto followed after his friend. For some reason I really want to see him. Academy Building 8:30 am. Naruto and Hizuki were sitting down in their seats at the academy, with the blonde staring out the window in deep thought about Gaara and what to do. He wanted to see him but question is how? He couldn't just up and leave, so what should he do? We will figure something out. Hizuki said. You think so? Naruto wondered. Yes. We will think of something. The boy reassured. Right, we will. Naruto trailed off as he saw Hinata being bothered by 3 boys near the door. Narrowing his eyes, he didn't know his third eye opened, glowing again. Without even realizing it, he projected his chakra energy towards them, making them freeze in place, allowing Hinata to walk away from them quickly and seek refuge near Hizuki and Naruto. Hizuki stared at the frozen boys with interest. Interesting, he can project his very will towards others, causing this reaction. Most interesting. I wonder what happened? Hinata wondered. It's a mystery. Hizuki said innocently. Naruto nodded in agreement, unaware that he was the cause of their strange behavior. Irika came in the classroom along with Mizuki, and this time talked about other villages besides their own. One village in particular that is part of the 5 great nations is Sunagakure no Sato, who like our village is also hidden away but by lots of sand, and the winds there help protect the village from enemies as well. The village occasionally has sandstorms, but they do not get near the village and stay outside to ward off intruders. It's rumored the sandstorms are created by the Kazekage, Irika instructed. So the Kazekage created sandstorms preventing unwanted visitors from entering the village. That could be a problem. Hizuki contemplated. Gaara and Naruto thought. But you all will have plenty of time to realize this for yourself soon enough. Irika said suddenly. Sakura raised her hand. Irika-sensei, what do you mean by that? What I mean, Sakura, is that in 5 days we will all be going on a field trip to Sunagakure no Sato as a way to learn more about another village. This will be good for all of you to know how other villages work. Oh, be sure to tell your parents though. If they say you can't go, then I'm afraid you can't go. But if they're okay with, then it's alright. Irika announced. Hizuki and Naruto gave each other a side glance, thinking the exact same thing. This could work out just fine then. Do you have everything? Hizuki asked. Yes. Naruto said with his backpack slung on his back. Good. It looks like you'll get your wish in seeing Gaara after all. The boy said. Naruto nodded his head with a small smile. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Alright everyone, the trip to Sunagakure no Sato will be a long journey, so make sure you drink plenty of water because the dessert gets really hot. Irika warned. Hi, Irika-sensei. Good, let's go. Irika walked ahead of them all with the class following right after them. Mizuki couldn't come because he had suddenly gotten sick. Naruto eyed Hizuki suspiciously, knowing the boy had something to do with it, but said nothing. The walk to Sunagakure no Sato was anything but fun for some of the academy students, including those from clans who were starting to get tired. When it was time to rest up, they had set their tents up and it was time to eat. Naruto and Hizuki brought out their lunches, which were made by Kane. Hizuki's eyebrow twitched at his food. That woman, does she think me to be a rabbit? Naruto looked at his friend's food and smiled. Well, you did say you needed to eat healthy foods to grow normally. Indeed I did, but this is unacceptable. Hizuki gestured to the vegetables in his bento. I don't see the problem, you like vegetables. Naruto reminded. What is your point? The boy questioned. Naruto's sweat dropped. My point is she gave you vegetables to eat, which is what you eat. I eat a variety of vegetables, Naruto, not just carrots. Hizuki deadpanned. Naruto blinked, then opened his mouth. Oh, glad to see you finally understand her crucial error. He noticed a note had fallen out and picked it up. A note? Brats. I made your lunches for the trip you're gonna take to that hot-ass village, and me'll pack some water for you to drink. Just make sure you don't drink all of it. When I say it gets hot as hell down there, I mean it gets hot as hell there quickly. I'd know since I had to travel in that shitty sand before we settled here finally. Anyway, here are your lunches, and since Hizuki likes to eat nothing but vegetables, I made sure to only give him just that and nothing else, so enjoy. Kane. Hizuki was surrounded in a dark aura, making the kids flinch back away from him. That woman. Naruto simply ate from his food, paying Hizuki no mind, realizing he'd calm down eventually. This was actually the first time he saw him get mad. It was actually enjoyable to watch. Naruto-kun, is Hizuki-san okay? Hinata asked timidly as she walked up to them. He's fine. Naruto said, eating his food. Are you sure? Hinata asked again. I'm sure. Anyway, did you want to sit with us since you're here? Naruto asked. Why yes, thank you. She sat down next to him, taking out her bento and ate it with a shy smile. I am eating with Naruto-kun. Hey, can we eat with you guys too? Naruto looked up and saw a boy eating chips in his hand. Standing next to him was another boy who was skinny with a pineapple hairstyle. To his left was a boy with tan skin, red markings on his face with a white dog perched on his head. Next to him was a boy wearing a jacket that covered half his face, sporting black sunglasses. If you want to then go ahead, Naruto said, then went back to eating his food. Wasting no time, they sat down forming a circle around them. Shikamaru cast an eye at a still fuming Hizuki. "Oh, is he okay?" Shikamaru questioned. Naruto gently pulled Hizuki's ear, snapping him out of his fuming episode. "Better? I am content for now." He ate a carrot, still inwardly fuming. "Carrots? What are you, a rabbit?" Kiba raised a brow. Hizuki stopped mid-bite, turning his attention to Kiba. "They say carrots are good for both the eyes and brain." Hizuki placed a carrot in front of him. "Your eyes aside, your brain activity could use some assistance." "Hey!" Kiba yelled indigently. Hinata giggled, while Choji chuckled a little and Shikamaru smirked. "Hizuki, Kiba was only asking a question," Naruto said. "I was not insulting his intelligence, but merely stating that his brain could use an early boost." Hizuki stated as though it were the most natural thing in the world. Shikamaru's sweat dropped. Are you speaking this way on purpose?" "I have always spoken this way, Shikamaru Nara, for I am from an advanced clan whose intelligence is far superior to those of normal humans. However, unlike the cursed Uchiha clan, I do not find pleasure in bragging," Hizuki explained. "Right," Shikamaru finally said, then looked to Naruto. "Is he always like this?" "That's just how he is," Naruto responded, putting his empty bento tray away and went for his dessert box, opening it with glee. "She made me coffee jelly." "I'm not surprised," Hizuki said. "She?" Hinata questioned. "Kane-san, her desserts are really good." Naruto took a bite and his face became that of pure bliss. "Kane?" Shikamaru analyzed. "A woman who wears nothing but her undergarments and swears like there's no tomorrow," Hizuki told them. Kiba sputtered. Choji blushed, as did Shikamaru and Hinata, while Shino stayed impassive, but you could see a small blush on his face hidden underneath his collar. "You're joking, right?" Kiba said, thinking it was a joke. "I am not," Hizuki said. "It's kinda fun to hear her swear, right?" Naruto said. "I do not find it as amusing as you do, for the very words she spews should not be said for a woman her age," Hizuki commented. "She's older than us, so that gives her a free pass," Naruto reminded. "Perhaps. You guys are freaking hilarious," Kiba cackled. Hizuki turned to Shino. "You have been quiet for quite some time now, bug user. What troubles you?" Hizuki asked. Shino was surprised they even remembered his was here. "You know, the Aburame clan have always fascinated me. You enter a pact with the most vicious and rarest insects, and then allow them to live within your bodies without any complications. Fascinating," Hizuki said honestly. "Now I think about it, I captured a big beetle just before we settled here." Naruto gave his dessert box over to Hinata before rummaging through his bag before bringing a beetle out slowly, and showing them, making Shino lean in closely. "You've found a Hercules beetle. Finding them anywhere is extremely rare," Shino said with hidden enthusiasm. "Here." Naruto gave him the beetle. "You're giving it to me?" Shino held the bug in his hand carefully. "I don't know how to handle bugs, so it's all yours, Shino." Naruto took his dessert back from Hinata, noticing one piece was missing, prompting him to look over to her. He noticed she looked away quickly, trying to hide the fact she ate one piece. "You took one?" Hinata looked down guilty. "Why, yes." Instead of getting mad, he decided to feed her another one. "Say ah." Shikamaru spit out his drink while Kiba's jaw hit the ground. "What the?" Hinata was freaking out more than them, but found the strength to open her mouth and allow Naruto to feed her, the blush on her face refusing to go away as she chewed and swallowed a piece of the dessert. "And Naruto-kun just fed me." Hizuki brought his dessert box, opening it up before deadpanning as he stared at the orange cake before him. Kiba stared at the cake. "Dude, is that?" Another piece of paper came out of the box, prompting Kiba to pick it up. "P.S. Enjoy the carrot cake, brat," Kiba read. Hizuki's dark aura returned, deadlier than before. "That woman is testing my patience." Naruto simply continued to feed Hinata like it was the most normal thing in the world, but Hinata wasn't complaining. In fact, she was downright enjoying it. The class continued their journey to Sunagakure no Sato after having their lunch and rested up a little bit. It only took about 30 minutes for some of the girls to start complaining. "This is taking so long, just how far is this stupid village anyway?" Ami complained. "If you'd pay attention in class, you'd know that since we're walking it'll take us longer to get there." Ino rolled her eyes. "What was that, Ino?" Ami growled. Ino smirked at her, holding up a flower. "Would you like another poisonous flower, Ami?" The girl in question shut her mouth and looked away quickly, not saying another word. Sakura giggled, wearing the red ribbon Ino gave her, having it tied around her head. She gave not so subtle look to Sasuke, noticing the boy was in his own little world as he walked along with everyone else. She knew Ino liked Sasuke too, so she decided to keep it to herself for now. Looking around, she noticed Hinata was sticking close by to Naruto and Hizuki, the weirdos of the class. For Hizuki it was because he spoke different than everyone else and rarely showed any sort of emotion, like it was a waste of his time. Naruto, she wasn't sure, but she classified him as a weirdo too because he's just different. He would stare at the sky for what seemed like hours, stare at birds all day, and rarely talked unless spoken to. She remembered her mom didn't want her to go anywhere near him, and also remembered her speaking to her dad one night about how he was dangerous to be around, and Sakura listened. Because, well, she's her mother, and she's never wrong, right? The sun was starting to set, so the kids set their tents up again, and went inside, but some were a little scared to go to sleep. Hinata slept near Naruto and Hazuki, seeing them as protectors, well, more so Naruto, but still. Sleeping outside does wonders every once in a while. Hazuki said, lying down on his back. There's so many stars. Naruto stared. Aside from the blue sky, you like to stargaze as well? Hazuki remembered. Yeah, just like there are a lot of people on Earth, there are a lot of stars in the sky. Naruto stretched his hand out. Too bad I can't touch them. I'd be scary if you could. Shikamaru commented, coming to sleep with them, and the others followed him. Oh, I take it you didn't want to sleep in your own tents tonight? Hazuki raised a brow. Nah, besides you guys are fun to hang out with. Kiba grinned. Arf. The white dog barked. Naruto rubbed his head. What's his name? Akamaru. At least you can tell he's a boy. Most people think he's a girl. Kiba rolled his eyes. The low intelligence level of people astounds me. Hazuki sighed. Indeed. Why is this? Because people are not as intelligent as they may believe. Shino agreed. Dude, seriously, what are you two even talking about? Kiba's sweat dropped. Hazuki and Shino stared at him, then looked to each other. A prime example? Yes. Shino nodded. Hey. I know you guys are talking about me. Kiba exclaimed. So you do have some signs of intelligence in you. Hazuki said. Why you dash? Kiba growled. Hazuki, stop teasing him. Naruto chided lightly. Very well. Hazuki conceded. You guys are funny. How long have you been friends? Choji asked. Hazuki closed his eyes. For a very long time. We're both the last remaining members of our clan and have bonded because only we can understand each other, and no one else. Shikamaru was analyzing everything Hazuki was saying. Last members of the Uzumaki and Otsutsuki clan. Hazuki eyed him. As expected from a Nara, yes, we are the last remaining members of our clan. My clan are originally from the moon, but I came here when the main branch was wiped out as well as the branch house. I met Naruto not soon after. His clan perished, leaving only a few survivors left to migrate to other villages. Konoha including those villages. In truth, Konoha was allied with Yuzushiogakure no Sato, where the Uzumaki clan is originally from. I find it strange that they didn't help their allies when they needed them the most and simply sat by and watched their destruction. Hazuki's eyes narrowed. There's no point in getting mad about it, Hazuki. Besides, we weren't even born when it happened. Naruto said. True, continue. Shikamaru said. Right. Anyway, I'm probably the last of my clan since I don't know where the others are. Hazuki's clan and the Uzumakis have always been close, even though the Otsutsukis are from the moon. Naruto smiled. Wait, you mean your clan's really from the moon? Kiba exclaimed. Correct. But how? Choji questioned. Explaining it would be pointless. Therefore I won't. The boy responded. Kiba's sweat dropped. You're hard to talk to, you know that? If that is what you believe. Hazuki said. Naruto stared at the white moon with an odd feeling in his gut. A full moon? What was this feeling in his gut? Well, it's probably nothing. Everyone had fallen asleep but not Irika. He was wide awake and keeping watch over his students to make sure nothing happens. Chunin or not, it was his duty to protect them. Hearing a snap, he turned behind him quickly and saw a tiny figure walking away from the rest of the group, prompting him to follow. It seemed like forever before he finally caught up to the tiny figure, noticing it was Naruto, who stopped walking as he gathered in the center of a clearing where the full moon was bright and full. Naruto? What's he doing out here? Irika wondered, about to walk over to him but stopped cold when he heard the boy speak. Rikudo Senin Fuinjutsu, Sage of Six-Pad Sealing Technique. Looking up at the moon, he saw what looked to be a blue Sharingan, only different, appear, shining brightly before it disappeared soon after. What in the world? Irika saw Naruto fall backwards and was about to catch him, but a blur beat him to it first. Getting a closer look, he noticed it was Hazuki who carried the unconscious boy back to camp, but not before giving Irika a side glance. It's not time for you to know yet, and even then there's nothing you nor I can do, the boy said, moving forward, leaving a speechless yet confused Irika just standing there before he turned to their retreating backs. What in the world is going on? Irika really wanted to know what was going on right now, but something told him he won't be getting any answers anytime soon. The next day came with the kids surrounded in nothing but sand, and the winds were surprisingly soft and non-aggressive. Maybe the Kazekage decided that kids weren't much of a threat. Irika kept glancing at Hazuki and Naruto every 5 minutes. He noticed the blonde was yawning a lot. Maybe that Fuinjutsu he used takes up a lot of chakra and he feels the fatigue every time he uses it. Hazuki hadn't told Naruto about what happened last night, meaning this had happened before and the blonde has no memory of the incident. That's troubling. He didn't think about it for long as he saw the village come into view and bowed politely to the guards. Irika Yumino, Chunin from Konohagakure no Sato, reporting for the field trip assigned by both the Kazekage and Hokage. Irika showed the man his ID, getting a nod in return, and went to open the gate, while Irika turned to his students. Now listen everyone, stay together while we head to the Kazekage's office. After that, get into groups and feel free to walk around the village, but don't get into trouble. Hi, Irika-sensei. The gates opened, allowing the students to walk inside the village and look around, and they were surprised to see the buildings were covered in nothing but sand. It was an amazing sight, really. Naruto was looking around for Gaara frantically and still hadn't seen him. Where are you? He kept looking around trying to find the boy but no luck. It wasn't until they got to the playground area where some kids were that Naruto felt a strong pull from somewhere and looked in that general direction. There staring right at him on the swing set was Gaara, who looked surprised yet happy to see the blonde. Naruto wanted to go over to him immediately but Iruka told them to be together. Then he remembered another ninju technique he learned with Izuki, Kagebunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu. He muttered a clone materializing next to him. Only Izuki noticed the blonde make the clone. Naruto decided to stick with calling his new jutsus ninju, feeling it to be more respectful to Hagoromo. Go with the others, Naruto told the clone. The clone nodded its head and stayed close to Izuki as the rest of the class continued to walk to the tower, being none the wiser, much to the blonde's relief. He wasted no time in walking over to Gaara and noticed the rest of the children wouldn't even go near him. It was the same for Naruto, but he had Izuki and Hinata now, so he could care less whether they played with him or not. Gaara stood there like a deer, afraid of moving because if he did then Naruto might run away from him. He knew that wouldn't happen, but still he was paranoid, which was sad for someone so young as him. The moment he laid eyes on the blonde as he entered the playground area, he felt something in his chest flutter. He couldn't explain what the feeling was, but it was a warm, tingling feeling that he greatly welcomed. Ignoring the other children of the playground as well as adults watching his every move, he stood up from the swings and started walking forward, prompting some kids to run away. But Gaara didn't care. Right now all he cared about was the blonde that was coming towards him at the same time. Both stopped before each other as they stared into the eyes of the other. Cerulean blue met pale green. Slowly they lifted their hands up at the same time, linking their two fingers together before slowly smiles appeared on their faces. Naruto was the first to break the ice. Hey, Gaara responded in kind hello. Naruto gave in to temptation and hugged the redhead, surprising him a little, but he slowly wrapped his arms around the blonde, returning the hug with a small blush and smile on his face, basking in the feel of being hugged by someone for the very first time was such a nice feeling that Gaara didn't want it to end. You're here, Gaara smiled. Naruto nodded. The hug was broken by both boys, with Naruto still smiling. Izuki's in the Kazekage's office along with the rest of the class, so he should be here as soon as they're done. What do you want to do until then? Gaara opened his mouth, then closed it hesitantly, but opened it again as he started speaking. See, can we play? Naruto blinked, then for the very first time grinned. Gaara smiled at the acceptance, and wasted no time in bringing his friend towards the empty sandbox, since the kids refused to go anywhere near them both now, but Naruto could care less. Since he finally came here, he could talk to not only Gaara but Shikaka too. Problem was how to do that, but he'll figure it out. He always does. Meanwhile, the children had just gotten out of the Kazekage's office building and were pairing up together. Of course, Izuki and Naruto, or clone Naruto in this case, paired up together. It surprises me that the Kazekage and Iruka have not noticed that you are in fact a clone and not the real one, Izuki commented. The clone nodded. That works out for us though, I suppose. Izuki agreed. You Naruto-kun, Izuki-san? Hinata came over to them. Yes, what is it? Izuki responded. Hinata fidgeted. That as well. Can we be in the same group together? Clone Naruto nodded. Sure, that's fine. Hizuki agreed. Hinata smiled and was about to say something, but now that she got a good look at Naruto, she noticed something was off about him. Naruto-kun? Yeah? Are you really here? Hinata chose her words carefully. Hizuki and clone Naruto were taken back. How did she know? They thought. How did you know that this is a shadow clone? Hizuki wondered curiously. Then you mean? Hinata trailed off. Yeah, I'm a shadow clone. Clone Naruto admitted. Interesting. You were able to notice he was a clone, yet Iruka and the Kazekage were unable to. Hinata Hyuga, you are truly an impressive human. Hizuki complimented. Hinata blushed, not used to being praised by anyone. Then if Naruto-kun's not here, then where? He is with Gaara, Hizuki told her. A boy that is just like him in every possible way you can imagine. Oh, should we go check on them then? Hinata wondered. Yes, we should. Come. Hizuki walked away with the girl following, as well as Naruto's clone, who didn't dispel yet not wanting to cause an uproar. Naruto and Gaara were on the swing set this time, just talking to each other, enjoying themselves. For Gaara, this was a first for him. Talking to someone his own age, laughing, talking, and just having fun. He tried to be nice and friendly with the other children, but they wouldn't go anywhere near him, avoiding him like the plague, and the adults were no better. Naruto noticed that instead of hate they were giving him fearful looks. Even Naruto didn't get that while in Konoha. They were perfectly content with whispering things behind his back and glaring at him. He wondered if they ever get tired of it. What's Izuki like? Gaara asked. Naruto smiled. Izuki's actually the Shinju, but you have to keep it to yourself though. No one else can know about it. Shinju? Gaara tilted his head. Promise you'll keep it a secret? Naruto said. I promise. Good. He knows everything about the Biju. The Kyuubi told me that they weren't even supposed to be sealed inside humans, and the reason they were created was to make sure the Jubi wasn't brought back. Naruto told his new friend. Jubi? It's a Biju with 10 tails that looks monster-like. The Biju were split into 9 parts so it wouldn't be woken up again. Naruto explained. Well then why are they sealed inside of us? Gaara wanted to know. They're not supposed to, Gaara. Kyuubi-san told me they were created to bring peace, not be used as weapons by being sealed inside people. Naruto frowned. They're not? Gaara blinked. Naruto shook his head. Kyubi-san told me that villages use them as weapons by sealing them inside humans. My mom had Kyubi-san sealed inside her before me. Gaara didn't know there were others before them that were forced to have the biju sealed inside them without their consent. It made him really sad. Your mom, what was she like? Gaara asked. Naruto looked up at the sky in wonder. I know she had long red hair, pretty eyes and had a pretty smile. I'm not sure of this either, but I feel that deep down she really loved me and would do anything to protect me. I feel the same way. Gaara admitted. Naruto looked at him. I remember seeing the face of a woman every night. She was smiling at me when I tried to touch her face, she would disappear from me. Gaara said sadly. Maybe it was a memory. Naruto tried to help. Memory? Yeah, sometimes I have faint memories of my mom. I remember her crying as she held me tightly. It felt nice. Naruto smiled. Gaara recalled the same thing. I remember the same thing happening to me, she held me as she cried. See? That's a memory that you hold dear. Naruto said. Gaara now had a memory to hold on to dearly and never let go. That woman, his mother, truly did love him. By the way, Gaara, where do you live? Naruto asked. I live up there in that tower with Yashimaru. Gaara pointed. Naruto stared at the tower in wonder, then connected the dots together. Gaara, you're the Kazekage's son? Eh? How did you? Gaara didn't think anyone would connect the dots so easily. Well, you live up there in the tower where the Kazekage is all the time, so it's pretty obvious. My father was the Yondaime Hokage. Naruto revealed. Ah, really? Does your village treat you the same way as me then? Gaara asked. Yeah, they don't even know he's my father because it's being covered up. But even if they did know, it wouldn't change anything, and you know what? That doesn't really bother me all that much either. Naruto expressed. Naruto, Gaara said. Ah, here you are. Both turned to the voice and saw Hizuki with Hinata and Naruto's shadow clone in tow. It's good you didn't leave this area. Finding you both has already been troublesome. Naruto chuckled. You sound like Shikamaru. Do not remind me. Hizuki deadpanned. Naruto's clone saluted before dissipating into smoke, much to Gaara's surprise. That was amazing. Naruto-kun, who is this? Hinata asked. This is Gaara Sabaku. He's the Kazekage's son. Naruto introduced. Hello? Gaara introduced bashfully. Ah, you too. Hinata bowed respectfully. Ho? So this is Shikaku's vessel. Hizuki got a good look at Gaara's face and nodded in satisfaction. Interesting combination you two make. But in a way that is a good thing. Gaara was his response to that. I am Hizuki Otsutsuki. Naruto's best friend. It is a pleasure to meet you, Gaara. Hizuki nodded his head. Why you too? Gaara bowed his head. Naruto got off the swing. So Gaara, what do you want to do? What do I want to do? Gaara questioned. Naruto nodded. Gaara was actually kinda nervous and didn't know where they would like to go, seeing as how he'd never gone to any places inside the village. One place came to mind actually. Well, we could go see my uncle? That sounds reasonable. Hizuki said. I'd like to go too. Hinata volunteered. We're all in. Naruto said. Then, let's go. Gaara smiled, leading them towards the tower where his uncle should be, not even thinking about the Kazekage or anything else. If Gaara had paid more attention to his surroundings, though, he noticed that a figure hiding in the shadows was watching their every move before disappearing just as quickly to report back. Inside the tower, the four children were heading over to Gaara's room, where Yashimaru probably was waiting for the young boy to appear. Gaara opened the door to the room and noticed that Yashimaru was indeed there waiting for him. Welcome back, Gaara-sama. Oh, and who might you three be? Yashimaru smiled. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto bowed politely. Hizuki Otsutsuki. Hizuki introduced. Hinata Hyuga. Hinata introduced herself shyly. Yashimaru smiled and Naruto could tell it was a real one. The man was incredibly happy that Gaara had brought friends over despite them being from different villages. Welcome you three, thank you for playing with Gaara-sama. Yashimaru thanked. Gaara's nice to be around. Naruto smiled, taking the redhead's hand and walking around the room followed by Hizuki and Hinata. Yashimaru stood there with a smile on his face as he watched them interact with each other. It was still sad though that Gaara's siblings couldn't do the same, all because of their father. Hey Gaara, what do you usually do around here? Naruto asked. I play with the blocks here all by myself. Gaara showed them. Would you like to help me stack them? Sounds interesting. Naruto smiled. Hizuki eyed the blocks with interest. I see, so the point is to simply stack up the blocks? Seems simple enough. Hizuki-san. Hinata sweat dropped. Gaara for the very first time of his life chuckled at his new friends and happiness. Nothing could ruin this peaceful moment. Raza Sabaku was looking out towards the village with a stoic expression on his face. He had just gotten done with another council meeting discussing in what to do with Gaara, who in the man's eyes was a failed experiment, and deemed the boy no longer useful and ordered his termination. He sent his scout to report in on the boy, and it didn't take him long to appear. Report. Kazekage-sama. The Jinchuriki has been seen with 3 other children. One of them is of the Hyuga clan, the one with white hair is the unknown, while the other is the boy we believe to be Konoha's Jinchuriki Naruto Uzumaki. The shinobi reported. Raza raised a brow at this information. They would willingly allow their Jinchuriki to participate in this field trip. What is that old fool Sarutobi thinking? No matter, this boy will just have to be our replacement Jinchuriki. He thought. I see. Kill Gaara and make sure you keep the blonde boy asleep long enough for him to be manipulated into being our new Jinchuriki. Kill the other 2 children as well. I want it done tonight. What about Yashimaru Kazekage-sama? The shinobi questioned. Incapacitate him. He's no longer needed. Raza left the man alone as he walked back into the tower. He no longer had a use for Yashimaru anymore. The man was teaching Gaara things he wasn't supposed to. The boy was their weapon. Not a human being. Nighttime in Sunagakure came rather quickly. Iruka was freaking out because he couldn't find Naruto, Hizuki, or Hinata, but running into Yashimaru seemed to calm the man down a little. Iruka told them all to behave while they're here, not that he really needed to mind you, but he still needed to tell them. The 3 of them stayed over in Gaara's room with Yashimaru setting up beds for them so they could be more comfortable. The smile on Gaara's face refused to stop showing. He had never had a sleepover before, or friends for that matter, so he was enjoying every minute of it. Currently they were all sleeping, having been tired out due to all of the talking they did. Gaara was afraid to sleep actually, but closed his eyes anyway, wanting to take a chance and hoping Shikaku wouldn't interrupt his sleep and hurt his new friends. Unknown to Gaara, Shikaku had no interest in disturbing his sleep tonight, and instead was more interested in having a conversation with a certain blonde. Mindscape. Naruto opened his eyes again but noticed he was surrounded by sand like last time, and wondered if something was wrong with Gaara. Gaara? Flesh bag's not here. Naruto whipped his head in the direction where he heard the voice and saw a giant tanuki made up entirely of sand. Its yellow eyes were staring right at the boy, making him nervous. Are you Shikaku? Naruto asked slowly. Shikaku grinned. You got that right, brat. Wow, so this is what you look like. Naruto approached the Biju. Impressed, brat? Shikaku puffed his chest with pride. Naruto nodded. I am, Shikaku-san. Hey, you even have manners just like the flesh bag. Shikaku observed. By flesh bag you mean Gaara? Naruto asked to make sure. Yeah. The kid's completely docile and polite. He needs to show some backbone. Shikaku complained. He will. Gaara will be just fine because he has you and Yashimaru with him. Does he talk to you? Naruto asked. Nah, kid won't even come here and face me. But you don't seem to have a problem with that. Shikaku pointed out. That's because I sometimes talk to Kyubi-san to ask where you all are, but he doesn't because you're not all connected. Naruto told him. Kyubi-san? That's what you call that idiot? Shikaku exclaimed. It's respectful. Hizuki told me that you have to be respectful to those who have knowledge. Naruto stated. Shikaku's sweat dropped. I'm surprised that damned fox can even put up with that. Must be bragging about it, too. Is something wrong? Naruto asked. Shikaku came back to reality and stared at the blonde brat. How do you know about the Jubi? Oh, Hizuki told me about it. He told me about Kagaya and Hagoromo Otsutsuki, too. Naruto explained as he sat down on the sand. Hizuki, that brat that looks human? Shikaku sensed something off about the boy but couldn't quite put his finger on it. Yeah. Hizuki's actually the Shinju. Naruto revealed. The Shinju? That thing's still alive? Shikaku exclaimed again. Kind of. See, Hizuki was planted after the original died because of Kagaya and held the memories of its original. He's been in Konoha this whole time watching over us and even let me eat from one of his fruits. Naruto explained. Shikaku leaned in closer. What do you mean? Naruto lifted up his bangs and showed him. Hizuki said this is Rinne Sharingan. When I ate from one of his fruits this third eye appeared. I have the Rinnegan too, but I keep it a secret. It looks just like the old man's but different in color. Is this brat the old man? Shikaku thought. Just you wait, Shikaku-san. I'm going to free Kyubi-san and the rest of you soon. I just have to figure out how. Naruto said. You plan on freeing us? Shikaku stared. Naruto nodded. You're not supposed to be sealed inside of us. It feels wrong, that's why I want to free all of you. I don't know how, but I will do it. Shikaku just stared at the kid, trying to find any hint of deceit but found none. It was pure sincerity. This kid was serious about freeing all of them. The Biju smirked. You're a strange brat, you know that? I think you're the first to say that to me. Naruto tilted his head. Ha! I like you, kid. Shikaku grinned. Naruto smiled in return. The intruder made no sound as he came through the window, sneaking in quietly as his eyes landed on the children who were sound asleep. The target Gaara was actually sleeping, but that made no difference to him. He had his orders and would carry them out. Walking over to the redhead, he took his sword out, positioning it towards the boy's heart. Wasting no time in going for the kill, his arm was stopped by roots that came out of nowhere. Looking around, he noticed one of the children was actually a clone that dispersed, and a small figure hidden in the shadows stepped out with his arm stretched out towards the man. How? The man stuttered. Hizuki kept his cold expression. I sensed you earlier this afternoon when we were by the playground. I had a shadow clone follow you without you even knowing and overheard your conversation with the Kazekage. Gaara's father. The man paled. He heard everything? I must say, the man is an even bigger fool than I originally thought. Sending assassins to kill his own son because he's learning to be kind and then to try and replace him with Naruto? How foolish. Hizuki stated. The man said nothing and only grunted. Interesting fact. If you had succeeded in killing Gaara, you would have unleashed Shikaku, and he would have killed every single person in this village without hesitation. Did you know that? Hizuki explained. The man's eyes widened. What? So you didn't know? Not surprising really, your Kazekage knows nothing of the Biju at all. In fact, none of you humans do. Furthermore, what makes you think I will allow your pathetic plan to even succeed in the first place? I will not stand by and allow you to kill Gaara or manipulate Naruto, Hizuki declared, tightening his hold on the man, making sure to cover his mouth so he couldn't scream and wake everyone up. Come. You and me have much to discuss. And like that they both disappeared. Mindscape. The seal? Naruto said. Yeah, the seal those idiots created is weak. Because of it I can influence the flesh bag if I want to and have him kill everyone. Shikaku revealed. Naruto had a sad look in his eye. Why are people so selfish? I don't understand. Who knows? You're still a little brat, so you don't know much about the world yet. Anyway, I want you and the Shinju to fix the seal so the brat can sleep. Shikaku said. You want me and Hizuki to fix the seal? Naruto blinked in surprise. Yeah, I hate to admit it, but the flesh bag isn't all that bad to be sealed in. Not to mention I can't stand that bastard father of his, the Kazekage. Shikaku huffed. Naruto was inclined to agree with him. Gaara's own father sealed Shikaku inside his son so he could be the village's weapon. But now that Naruto thought about it, was his father thinking the same thing when he sealed the Kyuubi inside him? Shaking his head, the blonde responded. Tomorrow, me and Hizuki will try to fix the seal. I promise. Naruto promised. Shikaku smirked. I'll be watching, brat. Naruto nodded. Right. Outside, the blonde was still asleep, but a smile appeared on his sleeping face as he dreamed pleasant dreams that night. He would help both his friend Gaara and Shikaku, no matter what. Kazekage's office 10:25 a.m. Raza rubbed his temples as he read the report on his desk. Around 9:30 this morning, the assassin he sent to kill Gaara was found dead, but that wasn't all. The man's fingers were crushed, as were his ankles, arms, and legs. Someone had tortured the man to death, and he knew it wasn't Gaara or any shinobi within his village. So the question was, who did it? You appear to be in deep thought. Raza stood up from his seat, immediately staring into the cold eyes of the boy the assassin from yesterday reported about. You. Hizuki walked over to the man slowly until he was in front of his desk. You seemed surprised. Did you really think I wasn't going to pay you a visit after your assassination attempt yesterday? How do you know about that? Did you get the information out of the man last night? Raza questioned, while at the same time trying to figure out how the boy got in his office undetected. How I acquired the information is unimportant. Right now you should be more worried about yourself, Hizuki stated. Raza was about to unleash his sand on the boy only to cease movement, when he felt something similar to bone near his throat. I would not make sudden movements if I were you, Hizuki warned. This bone is capable to turning you to ash if you so much as twitch. Raza could tell the child wasn't lying and stood completely still. He could use his sand, sure, but the moment he did the child would kill him very easily, so instead he didn't move. It would appear I have your attention now. That is good. I will only warn you once and only once. Gaara is not to be harmed in any way. If so much as try, I will know about it, and I will kill you. As I said before, this is your only warning. Do not take it as a simple bluff. Hizuki retracted the bone and walked out of the office casually, leaving the Kazekage standing there speechless. He felt the boy was not joking when he gave the warning, and did not want to test to see if he was truly bluffing or not. Who is this child? Hizuki stared over at Gaara as he was stacking up the blocks with Hinata, while he and Naruto were talking about how to fix the seal. Do you have something in mind? Naruto asked. Hizuki nodded. Yes, I do, and since you are of the Uzumaki clan, you will perform the new seal. I'm sure you know which seal I'm talking about, correct? You mean the Shisho Fuin, for a symbol seal? Can I really do it? Naruto wondered. You've been practicing your sealing techniques and have improved, Hizuki complimented. I have faith that you can perform this seal without any problems. You can do it. Naruto thought about it, and wondered if he really could perform the seal, then that would mean Gaara would be able to sleep without any problems, just like Shikaku requested. With much debating within his own mind, he nodded in understanding. I'll do it. Hizuki smiled. There you go then. What's wrong? Gaara came over to them along with Hinata. Gaara, we're going to make you an offer. Will you listen? Hizuki said. Gaara nodded without hesitation. How would you like to sleep without any complications? Hizuki said. I'll be able to sleep? Gaara's eyes widened. Hizuki nodded. Naruto is of the Uzumaki clan, and they are masters of Fuin Jutsu. He will be using one to recreate a seal for you so that you will be able to sleep. How does that sound? The boy didn't hesitate to respond. I'd like that. Gaara said. I see, then it's settled, Hizuki declared. Hinata smiled in relief for Gaara. He mentioned to them that he hadn't been sleeping very well, so this was like a dream come true for him. If Naruto could recreate the seal that was preventing him from sleeping, then that would be great. Is that true? A new voice appeared. They all turned to the door of Gaara's room to see two children that were a little older than them. The girl had pale blonde hair that was tied in 4 pigtails, green eyes and delicate figure. The boy next to her had brown hair, wearing what looked to be purple makeup. Hizuki was the first to respond. Correct. I have full confidence that Naruto will be able to perform the seal without complications, as I have already explained. Really? The girl asked just to be sure. Yes. Naruto stared at the two in wonder. Are you two his siblings? He noticed Gaara had grabbed the back of his shirt the moment he heard the girl's voice. He was afraid they would reject him again. The girl introduced herself first. I'm Temari Sabaku. Kankuro Sabaku. Kankuro introduced. Temari responded to Naruto's question. Yes, we're his older sister and brother. Father told us to stay away from him, but I don't want to do that anymore. I want to play with my little brother. Gaara's eyes widened. Me too, besides I want to show my little brother just how cool puppets are. Kankuro grinned. Ah, so you intend to become a kabuki performer then? That explains your choice in makeup. Hizuki observed. It's war paint. Kankuro yelled. Is that your excuse? Hizuki countered. Why you little dash? A tick mark appeared on Kankuro's forehead. Temari and Hinata giggled while Naruto chuckled. Gaara's face stretched as he smiled from ear to ear at his siblings and his new friends. He was afraid that this was all a dream, but no, this was reality. His siblings wanted to connect with him, and he made new friends. The lonely boy felt at peace for the very first time of his life. Sunagakure at night 10:30 p.m. Hizuki had brought Naruto and Gaara to his own personal dimension that he created. Kaguya had made many dimensions of her own, and Hizuki being the Shinju was capable of doing the same thing. The two boys found themselves surrounded by a grassy plain with giant tree everywhere. This is amazing, Naruto stared. Gaara nodded in agreement. Naturally. This dimension is completely cut off from the outside world, meaning that no one will be able to sense Shikaku's chakra. We will be creating a new seal and the Biju-S chakra will respond to it automatically. The last thing we need is interference from those in the village, particularly the Kazekage. Hizuki explained. Right. Naruto said. Let us begin, shall we? Hizuki said. Naruto took a deep breath. Okay. Lay down, Gaara. Gaara did so without complaint and laid down on his back, his arms at his side. Naruto leaned down and lifted the boy's shirt, seeing the seal, and saw that it was incomplete. He had been studying up on his clan's sealing techniques and read what incomplete seals look like, and this was one of them. Looks like Shikaku was right. Not wasting any time, he took out his ink brush, dabbing it into the ink case he brought with him, and started making the Uzumaki clan seal design that's similar to another one on Gaara's stomach. Putting the ink brush down and took another deep breath. Let's see if this works. He placed his hand on Gaara's stomach, Shisho Fuin, for symbol seal. A bright blue light highlighted the new seal, causing Gaara to grunt in pain but tried his best not to move. The reason for the pain was because the old seal was being replaced by the new seal Naruto created, proving the Uzumaki clan sealing techniques were truly nothing to scoff at. It felt like forever before the new seal finally overtook the new seal and Shikaku's chakra ceased against it, and started to get under control again. In place of the old seal was the Uzumaki clan's seal. They had done it. And as an added bonus, Gaara was fine as well, but he was tired though. Naruto sighed with relief. I did it, like I said you would. You've done your clan proud. Hizuki said. The blonde nodded his head. We should head back. Indeed. Gaara appears to be tired. Hizuki observed. The three boys appeared back in Gaara's room, and just in time too, because Temari, Kankuro, Hinata, and Yashimara had come into the room. Temari and Kankuro gave the boys anxious looks and received nods in return, making the two siblings smile. They did it. They fixed the seal and Gaara could finally sleep. Yashimara had tucked them all in bed with a smile because Gaara had not only made new friends, but now his siblings were trying to get closer to him and get to know him. He couldn't be happier for his nephew. That night Gaara fell asleep with a smile on his face, having his friends and siblings by his side as they all slept in the same room together. Deep inside his mindscape, Shikaku had no complaints and let the boy sleep to his heart's content. What if Naruto is neglected by family and eats chakra fruit? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.